Hey! How are you?
I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you should be sorry.
I'm apologizing for Mike.
Why? Yeah, what'd you do?
Mr. Jungle Man over there.
Welcome to the jungle! Like an animal!
Yeah, D&D.
Yeah, we just did a mic check, and we did it by making sure we could blow out the mics.
Yeah.
And
Just because Mike.
Yeah, because Mike.
And the partially deaf guy. It's his fault, too, most of
Yeah.
the
Well, whatever.
Yes, well, some of us are still trying to get our hearing back.
I know. Totally.
It's not you.
I know, but I'm like sitting here going, I agree.
Rip headphones, guys. Rip.
We should have a big flashing sign that just says, like,
I don't know.
you know, listen with care, headphone users.
Yeah.
You know?
Just like
It should be the warning at the beginning of streams.
Yeah, it should be.
Just warning.
Oh, it's gotta be that really obnoxious one too, so it's just like, bap, bap, really loud, so you're just like, what the fuck? It's your caution.
Right, that's your warning.
Yeah.
Your caution is
This
you
should
taking
be
your
played
headphones off.
at high volumes. Preferably in a residential area.
Fair enough. You guys know you're not allowed to play the warning advisory notice that they have on the radios and TV.
What?
Yeah, you're not allowed to play those in movies or on streams, and just in general.
Like in movies? Like
Yeah.
where you know it's fake?
Yeah, where you know it's fake. Yeah, you're not allowed to play it. They'll play
I
some
feel
alternate
I feel
version.
like I've heard them before.
And
Yeah,
they
like
got
tornado movies?
And they got fucking fined, dude.
Did they?
Yeah,
Oh, dang.
look it up.
Crap. Yeah, because I figured, like, I get like the FCC and what's allowed to be played over the radio and stuff, so I get that. But generally, that's why we can like see the kind of stuff we see on.
They'll play those like tornado warnings and the and the nuclear like fallout sound.
How's our bit rate? Can anybody see it from here?
But the one on the radio, that
No, it's further down on the screen. I cannot see.
What's our bit
I'm
rate?
bending like an animal.
Yeah, connection's pretty
cool. Let's go.
wonky to
Bottom
me.
camera's all wonky on its angle. But
0 drop frames.
What does that mean?
It means
I was
No,
checking because my
it's
phone's
nothing.
having a hard time
Yeah.
Bit rate.
with the bit rate.
What is this?
What's our bit rate look like?
4,300 kilobits stale.
Yeah, that's our limit. I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Limit on awesome.
it's stacking.
Yeah, it all looks good to Jammer. Hi, Jammer.
Yo.
How you doing, buddy?
Whoa, Black Betty! Jam one!
How's your holiday fudge sales going?
Watching Roan sweat made my day last night too.
Sweat, baby, sweat, baby.
You know, after you guys got offline, dude, I went on to play ranked and I won like 6 matches straight with that fucking Boros Legion deck.
Oh, damn, dude.
Crushed people, dude. Crushing them with it.
Oh.
One dude, I played, it was like turn 3 and he was just like, yeah, I'm done. He was just fucking forfeited.
I was
He's like, I know how this is going.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
I was playing it today, and I ran into X-Fire's deck 2 or 3 times, and I absolutely demolished it, and I'm pretty upset with myself. I'm like, damn.
And
Yeah,
high-
actually, the first deck I played was your deck.
6 pounds of
Really?
fudge.
Uh-huh.
Just like green, black, good stuff,
you
control.
get started
Yeah.
on
Huh.
magic non-stop.
Interesting.
Everything. And the first card he played was that Hunter.
It's a drug.
Savage Hunter?
This is not
Savvy
Rune's
Hunter or
Lives.
whatever.
I don't know.
That
how
makes the
it's-
food?
Yeah,
This
yeah.
play
makes the
definitely
food
looks
tokens.
like it did.
Except
Definitely derailed the
I
game.
drew better cards and I drew
I don't know how,
flyers.
I don't know how
I
the
drew
campaign's
Sky
gonna
Knight
recover from this one,
and just
Alex.
attack past him. So
Apparently,
Did you
the
see
players
all the
are
way?
Absolutely.
Did you
and
see
he
all
couldn't
the way?
attack because he would have sacrificed the card, so he couldn't make the
Yeah.
food token. So then I just started stealing.
Alex
food
is
from
just
him.
Jesus
nice.
Christ.
I was just like, yeah.
Well, it's
I
just
actually
the-
ended up getting my
let's cook it.
the Rowan's battle guards out, and my Rowan and the Johnny, both my planeswalkers were like, it was all out.
Yeah.
Damn.
You see, it's like
My knights, all my knights
Well,
were at like
isn't that
10-10.
the,
They were just, I rolled that
That's the
dude
wall.
really hard.
It sounds like you overkilled him.
I
It sounds
did.
like he would have been dead 4 turns earlier, and
Yeah.
you just sat there and kept going, no, I want to play with my food.
Yeah. Well, he just kept making wolf tokens. I had to like
All is crooked.
grind through them.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Because, did he have Garuk out?
Mhm.
Yeah, so.
And High Berserker works.
The circle works.
High Tilted, like
And Kilted Viking. Hey, everybody. Sorry, I don't have the. My phone's having difficulty connecting to Twitch for some reason, so I cannot see chat and stuff at the moment.
Same.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I was asking how our bit rate and stuff.
I actually
doing.
switched off our internet to my data.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. I actually think I'm gonna call, but this is happening so consistently at this point in the month. I think we're just getting. I think Spectrum's throttling us, and that's shitty. And I'm gonna tell them like, you can't do that. You can't do that to us. We're a business. Sole
Well, we're
proprietors.
paying
Business.
more.
We're paying
Exactly.
for that.
Either way, enough about Magic. Enough about that. How's our audience today? How are our awesome viewers? We love you. You know, we miss you all the time. Berserker, I'm so happy you could drop by, say hi. We were streaming last night while you were streaming. I dropped in, said hi. Hope you saw that.
Said hey, bro.
Hello.
You know, so much. Kilted Viking, welcome. Who else is in? Who else do we got? All of our regulars. You guys gotta help me because I can't see the
Hinata
chat.
Coffee's here too.
Oh, we know
Oh,
that.
yeah,
we know
she's
we know
somewhere.
who Hinata Coffee is. We know you.
Yeah, look out.
Yeah, look out. Watch out for that one.
She's not showing up in mine.
Got her eyes on you.
Yeah, I just, we're a small crowd tonight, guys.
There was
Woo.
intimate
Ooh.
Intimate crowd.
intimate crowd tonight.
Yeah.
Intimate
We are
crowd
here
this evening.
to whisper just awesome sweet nothings in your ears and make you relax. Ready for some D&D ASMR.
I will have to quiet down, but I can do it. I
I'd-
just need to focus.
I'd like to roll for damage.
Kilted. How's it going?
Tell us about the shitty inn we're in. Go on,
Yeah.
describe it for us.
Describe
All
it.
its rugged,
What's-
gritty details.
What does it smell like?
It smells like old fish and wharf.
Oh my god.
Sounds absolutely
Gross.
horrendous.
Oh, please tell me there's two gnomes jumping a guy.
They did. You watched as they beat his face in, took his rings. And all
It
his
sounds
gold.
amazing.
If I put my face to the window, do I smell the dead bodies down the street?
You do.
Oh
The
my
wind
god.
picks it right up, brings it right to your dragonborn nostrils. It's most unpleasant.
That's the kind of smell that sticks to you.
It's sticky. It's a good thing that you.
Stagnates
It's a good
around,
thing that
it's
one of
heavy.
your comrades ordered baths for you all, so you're all nice and clean.
I'm a smart friend. I got my friend's back.
Well, nice and clean for it to just stick to us on the way out.
On the way out.
Do you know that shit smell? We smell worse than that.
All right, that's enough of that shit.
That's your intro.
That's it. That was all for you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Love it. You're welcome.
Do we
What
have?
are you painting, Kilted? What are you painting there,
Oh, we
guy?
have a lucky number.
Yeah, we might.
Okay, I jam rolled it, so I just was curious.
Quit rolling, Jam.
It's
Yeah,
too
you're gonna
early.
Set your timer.
You gotta give me a chance to get through the intro here, dude.
Yeah. You're gonna set off your timer, man.
It's
Yeah.
not the number we wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
That's the number we
we're looking
deserve.
Or it is the number we wanted, and now it's never going to get
Now we
rolled.
gotta change it.
for. This is the way. All right.
Do
we
it.
know the way?
No way.
Not the way. This is the way.
Do
This
it.
Don't
is
bring
the
that dumb meme shit in here over my Mandalorian.
Do it.
All right.
I
Don't
will
do
show
it.
you the way.
I'm
This is
sorry.
the way.
I'm sorry. It's
Yeah.
not like they have reference material to use for the Mandalorian. Okay.
I do. I'm
Yeah,
awesome.
you do, but not the people making it.
Listen,
They don't have
Yeah.
comic books. There's nothing to go off of. This
No,
is
it's-
all blank space, according to them.
Yeah.
Blank space.
no.
Well, I mean,
materials.
technically it is. I mean, they made everything legends and
Yeah,
removed
yeah.
all the canon, so they
They-
are really working from nothing.
Yeah.
Because all the stuff they've released up to this date is just to make the new trilogy work. So there's like nothing else there.
Mhm.
I
We have to
get
justify
advantage,
the
though.
story of the new trilogy by filling in the blanks to make the story cohesive. The rest of the universe doesn't matter.
We also have to get rid of all the things that contradict our trilogy.
Well, yeah, exactly. You know, so they don't really have much in the way of canon yet. But I will say, from the reboot perspective, the Vader comic is fucking awesome. All right, that's a great comic book. If you do read comic books but you haven't picked up the Vader, you're missing out. The Vader one is great. I have my number one, and I'm gonna keep that sealed. So it's a great comic.
Mhm.
That one's really good. The books are all terrible.
It's all terrible.
Yeah, the books are all terrible. Except for the redone Thrawn one. Thrawn was good. I have that one. Thrawn was good.
Trust us.
No, you don't have to trust us. You don't have to do anything. So,
Trust in the Force. Luke.
last night was Magic the Gathering. We all had a bunch of fun. Thank you for everybody who showed up and supported that. And, welcome. What is it? Cookies
Cookies lessen my depression.
Cookies Lessen My Depression. It's one of the best Twitch names I've ever
That's-
seen.
That's a great name.
It is. Cookies
Yeah,
Lessen.
because food is love.
He said his name used to be Thank You, so streamers would say thank you, thank you.
That's
Follow.
great.
That's one of the most wholesome troll names.
Yeah.
You know, I like that.
Use
So-
your name as a weapon.
Welcome to the Hall of Legends. We really appreciate you dropping in cookies, and we hope to see you. I know you said you might be able to make it tonight. If you're not here right now, hopefully we'll see you later. And if not, whatever, man. Live your life. You're awesome. Do what you gotta do.
Live your best life.
Thanks for dropping me that Magic the Gathering list. Let me try to put that together for the little event or whatever this week.
Like a free.
But it was fun. We had the Men of Mike and the Rowan Doyle. We had one winner, won a free sub, and he chose to sub to Legendary Action Official. So thank you so much, X-Fire. You're an awesome individual, and we love playing Magic the Gathering with you. We love hanging out with you. Thank you so much, man. We really appreciate the support.
I had a lot of fun building Solas.
Yeah, the dwarves were fun.
And the dwarves are fun. And remember, it's the third Thursday of every month, and we will be doing it,
December 3, say,
I think-
19th?
I think it was the 9th.
19th.
The
Yeah.
19th.
18th.
18th, yep. 18th.
Because 19th is the Friday.
Yeah, 19th is the Friday. So the 18th of December, we will be doing it. And we didn't give away any codes this time, but I think we're going to be able to get our hands on it for some free boosters. Remember, if you're interested in playing, Magic the Gathering Arena is free to play and download. Plus, you can find codes online to download, like, a bunch of free booster packs to open up to help pump up the numbers. But they give you free decks to start with, to play with, and we will use the same starter decks that you use to play with you for fun. It's not taken seriously, and we're all just trying to have a good time and hang out in the chat and just BS with one another and watch people cry when they lose.
I didn't cry.
On the inside, you did.
Oh.
I can see it in your eyes, dude. Don't you lie to me.
The greatest thing is when we all looked at your screen and went, "That's the look of defeat." No, it's not.
Yeah. It was the look of defeat when I saw and heard before I saw on the counter. When I heard the fist. Yeah. When he didn't top deck what he was looking for, and the fist hit the thing. That was defeat.
The fist actually wasn't because I didn't top tick what I was looking for. I was going to be like, oh, that kind of sucks. It was because I realized at that moment, I was like, fuck, I killed the wrong thing. And that was me like, you mother dumbest.
Either way, that was defeat.
You mother trucker.
Defeatist.
Defeatist.
Aside from that, what else we got
It's a good
going
song.
on?
I know Jammer just said for the Thanksgiving holiday coming up, I will have you guys do a 20% off giveaway code. Everyone has a chance to win, including the crew.
Awesome.
Ooh.
That sounds like a plan. You heard it here first, folks. Win your fudge.
20%
Fudge. It's
off.
so good, and there's so many flavors. So many flavors, as a matter of fact, that X-Fire was given a 20% off coupon for purchase last night, and he just could not figure out what he wanted.
So he bought 6 pounds of fudge.
Yeah, so he bought like 6 pounds of fudge.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to hit X-Fire. Like, you enjoy that
Yeah,
fudge?
just consider shipping and buy more fudge all at once.
Absolutely.
Spread it out.
Yeah, 20% coupon just pays for fudge because if you buy enough fudge, it's like you get free fudge for free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have a 25% off coupon and you buy 4 items, you get your 5th one free.
Yeah, basically.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bingo.
Yeah.
See?
buy 4 get 1 free. I feel like that's a good fudge deal.
Yeah, that's good. It's fudge loving crazy.
It's fudge loving crazy.
Dude, with,
It's like this and your Ice Johnson.
Yeah.
with 20% off, I can buy 5 and get the 6th one free.
That's
With
free
the
fudge.
25% off code to see Rowan defeated.
This close. This close. Come at me, Jam. I'll take you on.
Come at me, bro.
We'll just throw fudge coupons at you until you give up.
We'll
Oh.
throw you in the way mines of Barovia.
He needs to keep throwing them. Once I've made 100%, I'll absolutely concede.
So, let's see. Well, we got anything else going on?
We got
We
Thanksgiving.
got
That's about
stuff.
it.
Oh, that's important. We will not be live next week. Legendary Action Crew is taking the Thanksgiving week off from all streaming activities. Yeah, so we will not be here. We are missing one player tonight. Matt is not here, so
I will be playing the wonderful Voss this evening.
yes. He will be playing and controlling boss for the evening.
Well, what
So
will I
help me
get
God.
into with
You
this?
So help you God, Matt.
You're welcome, Matt.
My goal
Gods.
is to may or may not be the death of the party. Not
Yeah.
Voss, though. Voss
This
will
is-
live. He
this
will
is-
run.
This is what happens, Matt.
Yep.
Thanks.
Thanks, Matt.
I am
Yeah.
the evil member of the party now.
But we did glass over, and you heard it here first. He's unchaining us next week for one day.
We're free! We can run and frolic in the fields again!
Players Unchained at 1.
Good thing
You
I'm
guys
on the
wore me
trail.
down with your incessant complaining about living conditions.
You have to feed us.
And
You can live off the crumbs on the carpet.
when we started filing for a union.
Get me some freaking Some freaking bed sore cream, man. I swear. I need some sore cream.
Let's see. What is there anything else?
We got more roughs back from the artist.
We did, yeah. So our character art is coming together. We're getting the stuff. We got more of the roughs back.
Really? For Beyond the Stat Block.
We are really close to nailing down our Beyond the Stat Block work that we have coming out from our artist. That should be done here real soon. Real soon. Start going into production, putting that together. So if anybody has any topics, D&D related topics that they're interested in us covering, remember, what we're trying to do with Beyond the Stat Block is just go a little bit deeper than what just reading the monster manuals, entries, and talking about the stats and the very obvious stuff that's laid out. We're trying to get into the motivations and personalities of the creatures and the ecology of the creatures and how you can use them in interesting ways and interesting encounters and try to think for that perspective. And for the most part, I'll be using probably how I run the creatures in my world as a reference for just kind of a basis of creativity and just changing it. So that's kind of the goal. So if you guys want to suggest some creatures that you would like us to work on, then you can post those in the sub-only Discord.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Or in the main hall. Either way, either of those work, and we'll take a look at making those some of our first things to go over. First creatures. For sure.
Yeah, there's so much. It's hard to decide.
Yeah.
So where do you start? Do you
Exactly.
save some of the big stuff for later? Do you start off with something big? Or do you build up to something big? Or do you just go back and forth?
I vote a
Or
dartboard.
do you just go page by page?
Page by
Start
page.
with the A's.
Yeah.
And once we get through the Monster Man, then we go to Volos, and then we go to that other book that has monsters in it, and then we go to some off-brand stuff like Kobold Press. They have some really cool creatures in there, and then we can just start
Hashtag
making it
not
up as we
sponsored.
go. Hashtag not a sponsor.
But, yeah, your
stuff.
Tumble Beasts and stuff, Kobold Press,
On point.
they're great.
On point.
I think the first book was a little bit Fae heavy, but it's alright, man, because there just wasn't a lot of Fae in the Monster Manual, so maybe that's what your goal was. But there was a lot of Fae in that book.
Yeah.
I was just flipping page to page going, Fae.
Just there.
It's like a chant.
And
Yeah.
another thing is you also filled out a lot of niche scenarios where you could take these creatures and put them into really specific scenarios.
Yeah.
So that's nice to have instead of just generic this or that.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so Beyond the Stat Block's coming together, the character art's coming together, so we should see a new character art in the intros, hopefully within the start of next year.
Yeah.
It should hopefully it'll all be done. Hopefully sooner than that, based on how quickly he went through the roughs and inked and gave us that draft. He should be able to get all the characters done here within the next few weeks, probably.
Hopefully.
Ooh.
Well, there's the holidays and stuff, but yeah, hopefully the sooner the better.
Yeah, the sooner the better. And then I don't know if anybody noticed, but we made some small upgrades to the break screen and the starting soon screen. Added some animations, so it's a lot easier to tell
We're live.
that we're live. That's a little help.
And we're coming back.
And that we are coming back. Yeah, we're live. Yeah, that will be coming back. That's important. Don't leave us when we go on breaks.
Did it break?
Yeah, exactly.
The clock stopped.
No, we're
Yeah.
coming back.
Yeah, we're coming back.
It's like, sorry, the dog has to go. Pet friendly.
Yeah.
We love
Bork, bork.
animals.
Animals.
Aside from that, I don't think we really have anything else to go over, do we?
Nothing
no.
no new updates.
No,
Yeah.
I printed 80 tiles. 80, and I'm printing 45 more. And
Yeah, I guess we are working on a huge 3D printing project right
Yeah.
now for terrain for the table.
Yeah,
Huge project, so much printing,
Days
so
and
much
days
stuff.
and
Days.
days.
Sounds like Andy's gonna throw us into a dungeon and say good luck.
No, I don't do dungeon crawls.
I know
That'll
that's
never happen.
not in the traditional sense.
Not in the traditional sense.
Not where we're gonna build a whole dungeon on the table
Yeah.
and put black sheets on it.
I've always wanted to do one of those. but-
Take it away. You know who would be great for that? Nathan Morley from Reno Dungeons and Dragons Facebook group. He
Yep.
does that all the time.
Shout out Nathan
Calling
Morley. Reno D&D.
all the time. And they're great.
What?
He even makes his own custom molds and
Yeah.
stuff. Like Hearst and
Right on,
Hearst
yeah.
Arts. Also not a sponsor. Hearst.
Yeah.
But he does
And
custom
there's
molds.
nothing personal against your products, but it's heavy and I don't do dungeon crawls, so
Yeah.
hashtag not a sponsor,
But-
not gonna be probably.
He does all that. He does that kind of stuff on the rec. He's
Yeah.
super nerd over there.
Wouldn't that be ironic? if they were our sponsor.
Yeah, it would be. It would be really weird. I'd be really conflicted. I'm like, I just don't know what to do anymore.
A lot of fights are going to take place.
I'm like,
In
I guess I
stone.
need a new, like a really thick, like extra durable, like wood chip board so I can put the heavy ass dungeon on it and then move it around. Cause, yeah.
Dungeon a la carte.
Yeah, exactly. Dungeon a la carte.
Well, I think one of the biggest tricks is going to be like instead of using like their stone platforms, you just take foam and use that instead. If you have any elevated levels, just pre-cut it out with foam, then put the hearst on top of it.
Maybe we just don't play on a table, and then combat starts like roll in the table.
Yeah, roll it.
Oh my god, it's amazing!
Yeah, isn't it great? We got interns for all of that.
Yeah.
Unpaid.
Yeah.
Unpaid interns, they
Well,
work best.
Yeah, that's muddy and a bunch of legal stuff with that. You actually have to be teaching them something if they're unpaid. That whole like unpaid internship where they fetch you coffee, highly illegal. Like really illegal.
Okay, well, we're teaching them how to push a table. That's lesson 1.
Lesson 2 is how to put stuff on the table.
Well, it has to be equivalent to like some sort of
Fetching coffee is
experience.
important because you're teaching them how to survive in the office environment so their bosses don't fire them.
Yeah.
It's a life lesson, and it's applies to the job.
How to take orders and execute them in a...
Yeah.
Are you guys
Precise.
writing resumes right now? Because that's the type of stuff I put on my resume.
Yeah, I know.
I went and got coffee one time. I saw a goal and I executed.
No, that's not how you're like, I'm an expert at retrieving coffee. Okay, that's how you write it.
It's done. You know,
I'm an expert at retrieving the package for the client.
curated, imported, friggin', you just go nuts. You just throw all those words in there.
I had a
Cur-
0%
less than
liability
that.
loss in package delivering
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
and 100% in customer satisfaction.
Because you guys got drunk. Right?
No, boss
I
was the
have
only
to
one who
ask
got drunk.
Percentiles.
Solas didn't drink for
We
us.
just taught you how to get a
Numbers.
job working for the federal government.
And over time, you should accumulate the overall value of the coffee. Like, I had a 0% loss and like $5,000 in company assets.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how we roll.
Then you should also accumulate like some of the company's success from like what you did.
Boost
which,
morale.
boosted
Something you can measure.
company performance, and
yeah.
had an increase of like 5% over the working year to the prior.
Yeah, and that was
Due to my
partly
0%
due to the
loss,
coffee.
the company saw a 2.5 growth of an overall profit
Uh-huh.
due to my 0% loss rate.
Productivity
Yeah, you
every
fucking
morning
get
went
it.
up
You get
2% because of me.
Yeah,
You guys
productivity.
get it, yeah.
I was solely responsible for an increase in work productivity.
Big guy.
Yeah, I
See,
saw one
there we
for,
go.
I saw one for like screwing in a light bulb, and it's like dispatch new illumination technology effectively.
No, the D&D ones are the best.
I've seen the
I
D&D
effectively
ones.
worked in a group to succeed in a task
And solving problems.
and solving problems and function as a high function as a group as a high member of the team to
Yep.
build and prosper or something.
I'm gonna have a real honest moment with you guys right now. If you
Yeah.
guys don't think that I have all of this on my resume, you're wrong.
Yeah.
It's on there.
Yeah.
Volunteer work,
Yeah.
unpaid internship.
Oh, I'm throwing public relations if I ever need to get a job. It was public relations of Legendary Action.
Yeah,
There you go.
but you gotta start like locking down those contracts.
Yeah.
That's true.
I guess I should get better at my kobold duties then.
Yeah, yeah.
You're gonna put that on a
always
resume? Kobold of Legendary
You
Action.
know what? If any of you guys want to get better at what you do in relation to the show, I have no objections. I'm just gonna put that out there. If you're ever sitting there wondering, it's like, what do you think Alex will think if I did all this extra work?
Mhm.
So, yeah, just take open go ahead. Open go ahead right now.
Just do it.
Should we get extra credit?
You get all the internet cookies, all right?
Oh,
they can't
yes!
internet figures. They need to be real cookies.
No.
For every 4 hours of additional work done outside of Friday, you earn 20 minutes of time unchained from the table.
When do I get to cash that in? Because I've definitely exceeded.
We just started this program, so it's not retroactive.
Oh.
You piece of shit.
Yeah.
Tell me
right?
it didn't carry over.
You corporate son of a bitch!
It doesn't roll over.
You bastard!
What does this look like, a 401k?
How much vacation time do we have?
That is vacation time.
That is your vacation time. Yeah.
For every
Listen to the vice president of Kobold.
for every 400 hours worked, you get 1 hour away from the table.
No, you guys are independent
Fair.
contractors. You don't get vacation.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, isn't that true?
That's something you get to work out.
Okay.
That's an internal
All right.
affairs.
I think that covers just about everything.
Yeah,
for
I
that.
would
And some.
if anybody asked me,
Yeah.
but I don't think
And
anyone wants me.
Tibbs has a statement for you, Hargraves.
No, I'm
Yeah, I
not
already read it.
commercials, and
Yeah.
I totally would, but no one's asked me.
But what
I'm a
type of
diamond
And
vendor?
no calendars. You don't want to see us on a calendar.
We can do a fucking calendar. We do a fucking calendar.
If you go to our premium Snapchat, you can see him walking the
The
runway.
gears are
Yeah,
in
I'll produce this. Okay, we'll make a calendar.
Can you do the firefighter, like the sexy firefighter?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Exactly. He gets it.
Dylan can. He's the only one who can.
Yeah.
It's just me and every fucking I even include a couple extra custom months.
Make up
For
some
you.
months. Just throw it on there.
for all those leap years.
I figure we need something, at February.
July.
Spicy.
July alternate.
Right.
Alternate.
You know?
Dungeon Ember.
Yeah.
Judge Ember.
just have an extra panel and I'll drop down as like advisory warning or something. That's when keep one work safe and then
Nah,
look between.
no warning. Listen, you
No
buy the
warnings.
calendar, you buy
No
the calendar, you know what you're getting.
Yeah.
We could do some like really serious ones, but it's like Where's Waldo? Find sexy Dylan.
Just hidden in there
But they're
somewhere.
all sexy.
I never found him sexy.
I never said I was
Oh.
sexy. That's something everyone else always attributes.
This is a losing game. This sucks.
This-
Oh, man.
Buy the special one. No, you have a bunch, and then you encourage people to buy it. Buy the special golden ticket one.
I've got a golden ticket.
Technically, according to federal law, you actually, if you run a promotion like that, there must be a golden ticket.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, that's the
fuck.
point.
I like that.
No,
Well, there's gonna be a golden
great,
ticket.
There's a great channel called Legal Eagle, and this professional lawyer goes over all the laws broken
Yeah.
and
Yeah, I watch him.
Good.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah, he's really
I
good.
really enjoy that channel.
Yeah, he's
Check it
funny.
out.
I'm gonna have to watch that now because now I'm curious.
You really should.
Yeah,
With
Yeah.
all the stuff you engage in,
yeah.
I know what you're saying.
He'd like to plead the fifth.
I played. I mean,
for Mike's birthday a couple years ago, I got him.
Yeah, anyways, yeah, D&D.
Disclaimers.
Yeah,
D&D.
anyways, D&D.
Ready for D&D? Listen, Parrot, chill.
D&D.
Okay, so
It's D&D.
we all know what you're here for, and it's not the sexy calendar. It's to watch us get into D&D shenanigans,
And
mess
die.
up, and kill Matt's character while he's away from the table because we are cursed in that way.
this is something
And
that
either-
might happen.
Yeah,
Or
it-
true
it-
crime stories.
Yeah, exactly.
So I have a question: is it going to happen, or will it not happen?
Let it go.
Look, it's up to you.
Yeah, it's up
You're
to
the
us.
one controlling him. Look, man. You can make him stand in front of you, whatever. Matt's not here.
Oh no!
Matt, you hear that? Listen, you gave him up. This is your problem, dude. All right?
Make him stand in front of a train.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
I think Voss with his high HP as a fighter would like to stand up close.
You might have to deal with the consequences of when Matt comes back, after Thanksgiving, but
You've forgotten by then.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't know
because
about that. I don't know
Riken's
about that.
gone, and then the
Voss would
Voss.
like to retire as an adventurer and go home to his family.
You can.
He's gonna get killed.
But
That
you
is
could
fine.
do something very charitable. Matt would hate
Voss
that.
is gonna donate all of his
Same
money.
Charity.
Voss would like to donate 532 gold to Parathor.
Well, don't give it to children because
Yeah.
we don't know what happened to him.
Hello, me is in.
I want Matt to be watching just so I can feel his Arthur fist from
It's
here.
not the nunnery's fault you're a monster. Like,
Oh,
I can't blind my way into heaven.
Hey, perception is 9/10 of the law.
yeah.
It's a curse.
I'm a victim.
I'm a victim, but I wouldn't give it up for the world. It's like my greatest mistake. Kind of like children.
It's a curse, I swear, but I don't want to get rid of it.
If I could go back and do it all over again, I would not.
Take the fifth on this one, Rowan. Take the fifth. Just
But-
just stop right now. While you're
It's the
at it.
greatest thing that ever happened.
I'll leave that one alone.
Just take the fifth. Don't even talk anymore for like 10 minutes, dude. Just don't.
I'll just,
We are here for your protection.
I thought about having kids once, and I got a dog.
Oh,
Good
yeah.
idea.
Yeah. I
Either
see.
way,
I see
we
why I
already-
need to take the 5th.
We are ready for D&D. I'm ready to play. It's time for D&D. So, we're going to run that intro. We're going to hope the nameplates don't appear over it. It's going to be awesome. It's always a gamble. You never know. It's like a 70-30 shot, like on a regular basis. It's pretty awesome. So, we're going to see you here in about, I don't know, a minute, 40 seconds or so. We're going to be right back.
That's
So,
fast.
go get popping corn, go get your drinks, chill. I don't know, whatever it is you do to get ready to watch us do the things that we do, but you
Light
should
a
do
candle,
it. Light a
make an
candle.
evening of it.
Yeah, make an evening out of it. You know, just chill. Put us up on the big screen for a change. Treat
Yeah.
us to a nice evening. You know,
Yeah,
I know you all got us on your mobile phones. You know, that's not cool, man.
Yeah,
some
some
wine.
lines from your family members
Mobile.
and significant others.
Make them watch.
Look at my words.
We're gonna be back. And we're back. We were going off about stuff related to Beyond the Stat Block, but now we're here. So,
See, Kilton, we appreciate you for having us up on a monitor so you can see us in our
Yeah,
holy
here we
glory.
go. Thank you so much for putting us on monitor. We feel special and
We feel
loved.
bigger.
We feel the love coming straight through at the moment. You know, we really appreciate that you're here.
I also
May
feel
your
larger.
temperatures-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Larger than life, one would say.
May your
Oh.
temperatures be low and your frame rates be high.
You're terrible.
For your computer?
I love it. High five. I appreciate that joke.
PC Master Race joke.
That was.
I know.
And Andy's just in here going,
No.
I get to turn it on and nothing happens and it's great. I just click a button. You guys get to suffer through updates.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have Windows. I don't care.
Oh, it's a joke. It's a joke. Calm down, peasants.
No driver updates, no Windows updates, just PlayStation updates. And
What's
it does
it
it while
like?
it's on rest mode.
Nice feature.
Automatically.
Computers should do that.
They should do
PlayStation Network goes down.
that. Yeah.
DDoS.
Yeah, PlayStation can be DDoSed. All of the internet, man, not so much.
I will take it getting DDoS like maybe once or twice a year versus having to deal with all of the cheaters constantly every game you're in on a regular basis.
Fair point.
You have 100%.
But we're not here to talk about how great console games are. We're here to play D&D. So
What's
we're
the special
into that.
number?
I win. Shh. I win. Listen,
Jammer wants to know.
Jammer. Did Jammer want to know? Listen, Jammer. You really want to know what the lucky number is? Well, I chose it last week. One of you two weirdos
10.
choose it. Someone
Okay.
say they're gonna choose it.
Me.
Okay, Amanda's gonna choose
I
it because
want
she
it-
actually followed my instructions clearly and precisely.
Oh. I wanted.
I didn't know the rules before I.
Hey, Amanda's saying the number.
19.
Oh, okay.
19.
Here we go. 19.
So tonight's lucky number is 19. First person to roll it in chat is allowed to grant inspiration to one of the players at the table. This also includes players who are not at the table, just the bosses are in there. But he was awarded inspiration last week, which he hasn't used, so he can't be awarded inspiration again. So any one of these jokels here can get inspiration.
Jokers.
Oh, my
I will
dolphin.
not be awarded inspiration because I can make whatever I want happen whenever I want. That's the power I have.
He inspires himself all the time.
But what
All
if
the
we
time.
all have inspiration and didn't use
Then
it?
Andy gets advantage on his next roll of his choice.
Yeah.
So if
It's
someone-
always
I'd say
If you guys stack up your inspiration that way, I'll just start go to the first person to get it and take theirs away so that they can get to the end.
Oh man.
Either way,
Give it to Matt's familiar.
it is
Give it to
exclamation
Boss's
point roll
familiar.
followed by exclamation point roll space followed by number, correct?
Yeah.
20.
Roll 20. And yeah,
Not sponsored.
not a sponsor.
I will.
And it's on a
Almost did
5-minute cooldown or a 10-minute cooldown?
5.
It's on a 5-minute cooldown, ladies and gentlemen. So happy rolling. Good luck. Make sure if you roll it, one of us, the moderators, will confirm it by going backwards and through the chat, making sure it was
What's
wrong.
up, Warfare?
If you don't, obviously, if we don't see it, just keep, chatting at us and sending us messages, and eventually someone will see it.
my works.
So, last week, when you last left the party,
Oh no.
you were being led by the Ranger Tobias, and you began your possibly dangerous and difficult journey through the Oakwood. Yes.
Wasn't the ranger Conrad?
Is it Conrad?
It was
Yeah.
Conrad. Tobias was my friend.
Same difference. It is a Ranger.
True.
Let us to the Rivergate City. Hargraves.
But, to your luck, the journey was uneventful.
Don't know those details.
Travel was clear. Aside from rain one night, there weren't any issues. Stayed in the cave. All the wild dire wolves, the ranger leading you safely through goblin-infested territory. Eventually, you stopped in the town of Oakhart, spent one night there, and kind of learned about its history. Gave you guys a brief overview on that before you continued onwards. But on the final day, you exited the Oakwoods, and you set your sights on the gleaming sea and the spanning metropolis of Rivergate in the distance. You then began riding along the Imperial Highway, headed to the city, joined by dozens at first, and then hundreds of people on the roads as they made their way to Rivergate. And once inside, you ended up heading towards the Ghost Ship Inn, where you had hoped to see Patty and Brittle, who supposedly made it there ahead of you. Once you arrived at the Ghost Ship Inn, you took your accommodations, washed, rested, sort of, took a little bit of time to yourselves, did some eating, hanging out. Yeah, it was pretty uneventful for the most part. It's a good rest after a long few days' journey. Just stayed in the wild. Voss got a little bit of hammy, and let out some little personal stuff with Solas. It was all good. It's good. It's good to learn a little bit about the characters. Then Alfarius went to Patty's room and had a conversation with the gnome sorcerer. As she had arrived in Rivergate about a day ahead of you, she had already spent some time in Rivergate doing some investigating, talking to others around the Ghost Ship Inn, people on the street, making observations of her own. And she learned a few interesting rumors while in the city. She heard that apparently twig blights had been infesting the city sewers, causing blockages that they can't get rid of them. They're all over the place, and they haven't been able to sort out the problem, like the main issue that's going on down there. As well as troubling news about the Circle of Mirrors having summoned a devil that had escaped the circle, and nobody's really sure what happened to it. And she shared with you, Alfarius, that she felt something was strange about the weed. That there was a concentration of negative magic kind of flowing into the city, a centralized point which she said felt heavy and out of place. She felt that something troubling was happening in the city of Rivergate. Hargraves, then, deciding that he's the badass that he is, bad motherfucker, decided to do some hunting on his own. He went out sort of investigating and looking for clues to any sort of issues in the city, and not really finding anything that stood out. He eventually opted to head to a job board, looking for notices or interesting issues within the city, kind of treating it like tabloids, looking for the weird and the unusual as something that stands out as monster activity within the city of Rivergate. And he did. He found a notice in which some resident of the city was saying that their child had disappeared about 3 days before this point, and they were beginning to worry. So they were asking for anybody to investigate, as apparently the town guard was coming up empty-handed, and they couldn't get anybody else to take a look into it. They said nothing about a reward, and they said nothing about anybody in particular. They just said anybody, help. And so Hargraves took the notice. And upon doing some searching and talking to residents living in the lower district and going towards taking him closer to the port, he eventually found out that there is in fact something strange happening in the city of Rivergate. There are strange intermittent fogs that appear and disappear, but with some sort of supernatural power attached to them. They're strange because it's not early in the night, starting late in the evenings, and everybody swears they're unnatural. People who lived their whole lives couldn't figure out what was going on. So following clues, he finally found himself to the fog, the strange, mysterious fog. And after being, I guess, what would that be? Tricked by some eerie noises, he actually found himself face to face with two women who were just minding their own business in the street, having a conversation. But just moments after passing them, the creature that he assumed rightly was a foglet, a dangerous, supernatural, undead creature that can use fog to hide its whereabouts and move through it without being seen, attacked the women, killing one of them and fleeing with her body, her corpse, back into the fog. So Hargraves, hot in the pursuit of this creature on the abandoned wharf section of the port district, is where we pick up tonight's episode. This is awesome.
Gosh. God.
Rudy,
Intense.
Stressed out.
Don't be stressed.
So, what are you doing? You just watch this fog just tear this woman's face right off. Claws come through. Her jaw is still left like on the ground. There's blood spattered all over the walls. And her body was just dragged away. And the fog is kind of beginning to recede and pull away from you.
I'm gonna chase after this foglet using my enhanced sense of smell to follow that smell of decay from the undead.
I forgot to open something real quick. I had to open it. One moment.
Hey, you want to print out a new character sheet for this guy?
I know, right? Let's just get that going right now.
Yeah, I'll get it started.
Yeah.
All right,
Standard red voice.
Hey,
No,
it's
you
not
need to roll this time.
All right.
it's not Matt rolling by himself. He's got a chance.
Oh, shit, that's right.
I'm in that spot, kinda though.
Oh,
The
Yeah, and I'm playing
juju,
Matt's
the
character, so if I
juju.
roll for him, it's got to be enough juju.
Yeah, the bad juju.
You know what I'm saying? Like what is it? Like 46? Take the highest. Yeah. See, he's totally screwed at like 7.
What are you doing over there?
So 8 for the first
what are you doing
one.
over there?
What are you doing? Hey, no.
Your math was
No,
terrible.
over
There was a 5 in there.
Yeah, there's a 5 in there.
Yeah, that's like
Stop it.
7.
Quit trying to judge my destiny.
Fine, here, real roll.
No roll.
Yeah.
Oh
see?
shit.
See? You
No,
get
no,
you
I
get
don't
8.
see.
You get an 8.
My contacts are really messed up right now.
Yes, you rolled
I
an
don't
8.
see much of anything.
Yeah, well, never mind.
Well, that's because
Doesn't
the
feel like
fog.
opening. So,
The fog is real.
alright, so the fog is quickly disappearing and just kind of moving, and just this really, really super quick speed just away from you, just kind of starts to lose track of it as you cut the corner, and it's already like far enough ahead of you. Make a perception check, please.
Roll good.
Visual? Visual?
Yep. Visual.
Oh!
Starting off hot tonight, ladies and
Oh,
gentlemen.
10!
Visual.
There's a running theme here from last week.
10.
Can't shake these rolls, huh?
Can't shake a 10.
Shake it off.
Okay, so yeah, you catch just the tail end of it, follow it around the corner again, except it gains more speed and just begins to shrink into almost from like a wider, more foggy-like form. It starts to just turn into more of a humanoid shape of the foglet itself. As you continue running, just straight down the street after it, your hand on your great axe, ready to draw at a moment's notice, you catch it as it turns back in the foglet. You cut around the corner of this large warehouse building, and you see it disappear. It opens. It's like opening up almost a cellar-like door, and it just jumps down into there, and you catch just the back end of it as it flips like an eye at you. You see these like deep yellowish glowing eyes from the corner of it as it like grins. And you see its huge, wide open teeth, and it's like kind of this busted open rib cage, decayed and strange, and it doesn't have any insides on it, no intestines, but it looks like it had been ripped open by something else sometime in the past. It just jumps down. You lose sight of it.
Oh, he's not getting away from me. I'm gonna freaking run over to that cellar-like door and jump down. Like, I'm not losing this thing.
Okay. Alright, so you just jump straight in. Do you have dark vision?
No,
So you jump down into the pitch black.
that's bad.
As you feel your feet slam, the greaves on your leather boots just slam into the hard cobblestone floor below you, you take squint as hard as you can, just looking to see any signs of any sort of shape in the distance. Barely any kind of backlit lighting coming from a hole in the roof of this warehouse from the moon in the sky, and it's just enough to just barely illuminate, maybe less than a 5-foot space, and maybe an additional 5 feet of just light, of just dim light in front of you. And you don't see anything, just hear the steady dripping of some sort of water runoff above you, just drip, drip, and it's like it echoes. This chamber seems rather large. And in a stance ready to defend yourself, you like shift your foot and you kick something, and it kind of scatters, and you recognize the distinct sound of bone clattering on cobblestone. As you look down closely, you see the remains of about 3 or 4 humanoid people are kind of piled together. Some of them with flesh still on the bones, some with, you can see and tell that by the weight, still marrow on the inside. There's hair on the skulls and skin partially left on. And then you hear clattering, distinct clicking of claws coming from further into the room as it seems to be moving away from you.
I'm gonna use my senses to find that, or to follow just the sound. Try and follow the sound, because I don't have time to stop and light a torch necessarily.
Okay, make a perception check.
I'm gonna use my feature for hearing.
Okay.
Advantage on hearing
Mhm.
checks. Better. 15.
15? So you kind of kick aside the debris and the remains on the floor and start moving forward carefully. You draw your great axe in one hand, kind of halfway up the haft, and kind of reach out in front of you a little bit just to make sure that you're not going to walk into a wall. You just very carefully looking, but basically walking straight into pure darkness. You can't see anything in front of you. But all the meanwhile, you're tracking the light clacking of this thing's toe claws across the cobblestone ahead of you. You feel like it's just out of reach at one point, just maybe 5-10 feet. If only you could see. If only you could see, then you might be able to catch up to it. But unfortunately, you can't, and you stumble as apparently there's an opening that you walk into, and you barely catch yourself the front of your foot as you hit the front brick as it falls out from underneath your feet. So I need you to make a dex saving throw.
Oh, crap. Oh, dang it.
DC 10.
Don't fail me. Don't fail me. Don't fail me.
You can do it.
I'm feeling now.
You can do it.
Ah! Oh, no. No, 4.
Wait.
4.
Can Voss give his
No,
inspiration?
he's not here.
No,
He's not in the room.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
I didn't know if the character Voss could give it.
No,
to
I
someone.
established that last week. I said you have to be present to give inspirationally. All right. So, as you're walking through the pure darkness, the floor, the cobblestone gives out from underneath you, and you just fall forward, and you fall 20 feet, and you just slam into the ground underneath. So you take both the chart.
Ugh.
Charts.
Charts and graphs.
D4s.
16 bludgeoning damage from the fall.
Ugh.
As you distinctly hear a snap in your arm, and a crack, and a searing pain runs up your body. And you pass out.
Bye.
Eventually, you wake up. You have no idea how long you've been out. You quickly jump to your feet, search for your axe on the ground. You have no idea where it went. I need you to make a perception check.
13.
13? Yeah. So shuffling around, you eventually accidentally kick it. You pick it right up. And then you hear the sound of something in the dark nearby. Very, very light and quiet, but getting slightly closer. A deep, low breath, like an inhale.
Like how? Can I judge the distance at all? Like how closer? Are we talking like down a hall or like?
You don't know. You were so busy searching for the axe, you couldn't really pinpoint. It just happened.
Right. Well, I'm gonna use my Crimson Right to using Right of the Flame on my Great Axe. So I'm just gonna focus, harness my blood power, and light it aflame.
So as you concentrate on the curse and on the magic required to do so, the blades of the great axe light up flame, and finally you can kind of see what you're into, and it looks like some sort of underground passage, some old underground passage. It's overgrown, abandoned. You look up to see where you fell through, the floor up ahead, easily 20 feet up. And you kind of put it out in front of you, look around. No signs of the foglet, or whatever creature it was in the darkness that was nearby. But the passage continues straight forward.
Do I smell? Can I smell the decay like the foglet at all?
You can make a perception check if you want.
Jeez, 6
6.
with advantage.
You smell seawater, and you hear running water nearby. You're not sure, maybe from like the opposite side of one of the walls, either your right or left, kind of echoing. But yeah, all you smell is like seawater, seaweed.
I'm gonna try and go down the hall and find the sound or whatever's down here.
Okay. So, you start moving forward. All the while holding your burning great axe in front of you. After about 3 or 4 minutes of walking down this corridor, this straight corridor, you finally come to a room. It looks like some sort of cove / storage space. There's like a dock, an old dry dock that runs out from this cave into Shatterkeel Bay. And you're looking around. You can see the outside is illuminated about maybe 100 or so feet away from the moonlight. And just looking around, you see old torn up crates, old fishing nets, a couple of dinghies still attached to this dock. It doesn't look like it's been used in You don't know how long. Forever at this point. Up above you, just water condensation dropping down, dripping onto the ground. No signs of a foglet.
I want to run back to that first room where I fell,
Okay.
and I want to try and use my climber's kit and grappling hook, see if I can get back up to where those bodies are and maybe track it from there where I fell.
Okay. Alright, so... Yeah, give me a sleight of hand check.
And
So it's 20 feet up. How much rope do you have? What's the length on the rope? 60 feet? I think it's like 60 feet.
Yeah.
It's good enough for me. 60 feet's fine.
Mhm.
But yeah, slide hand check. See how good
The
of a
climber's
rope you
kit come with rope? Or am I
get. I'm pretty sure it does.
Like the adventurer's kit, or the,
climber's kit?
I believe the climber's kit in the title would come with rope.
I would hope.
You would
I
think,
think it's
so,
like
but I don't want to be that dude.
I think it's 30 feet of rope.
A rope.
30
Did you
feet?
bring your
I think it's
rope?
30 feet of rope attached to the climber's kit.
Oh, that's the diplomat's kit, man.
The-
Pittons, some gloves, harness. Oh, never mind. You can't. Yeah, it doesn't have anything with rope or
Or grappling hook.
a grappling hook.
Alright.
Lame.
So,
Climbers can jump.
mistakenly...
You heard it here first.
mistakenly remembering that you had a grappling hook, you search through your pack, and you don't have it.
Down, frustrated.
Man.
No, man.
So once again, you kind of pull up your great axe and start scanning the room around you.
Mhm.
No sign of the foglet.
That's interesting. This Dungeoneer's kit that comes with that rope. The difference is the climber's kit allows you to put pittons in and stuff, so you can't fall.
That's all it does. Does the wall look climbable at all?
Well, it doesn't. Not at the angle. Where you fell through is kind of in the center of this chamber, so you would have to actually do what would that be called? An inverted climb to get back to the hole.
No. Well, I guess I'm gonna go back out to the docks. Keep my wits about me from whatever I sensed earlier. I want to make sure to look in the dinghies and just check around, and just make sure I'm not missing anything. But yeah, I'll head back out towards the docks.
I mean, what are you looking for?
Just creatures, whatever I sensed previously in the dark.
Okay.
Somewhere. So maybe it's hiding in a dinghy.
Make an investigation check.
Oh well, now, 20.
Yeah. So as you're kind of looking through and fitting through the dinghies and kind of the leftover supplies, not on the dock, but closer to the inside of the cave, you actually find what looks like some sort of blood droplets in a path. And it's leading out around this small bend that's almost impossible to see with the lighting you have on hand. But as you look, you see where the shadows on the wall differentiate, and there's actually a path, and the droplets turn into drag marks leading around the bend.
Oh, I'm gonna go full bloodhound. I'm gonna follow the trail.
Okay. And so as it turns into drag marks, drastically more and more blood begins to show up.
Do I see any other signs, like step marks or anything like that?
Yeah, you do. You start to see the shape of these kind of clawed feet start to appear intermittently. And after following them for about 5 minutes or so, then you hear the distinct sound and snap of a bone cracking from about maybe 10 feet ahead of you.
Element of surprise. I'm gonna hold the axe back, trying to keep the light from So in this, am I still kind of in the sewers area? This isn't like more of the dock. It's heading kind of towards the sewers. I mean, like ambient light.
No, you're not in this. You're not in the sewer anymore. You're just in like a straight underground, like cavernous passage at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then never mind. No, I wouldn't be able to. I was a little bit sneaky trying to peek around the corner, but then I realized I wouldn't be able to see it. Oh no, it's raining umbrellas. And then
By the order of fire.
Axe at it.
Alright, excuse our technical difficulties. So we're back now. Excuse our technical difficulties, ladies.
So where we left off, Hargraves had tracked down some sort of creature
He said
or
it's
something that's
fighting
making the sound of bones breaking around this corner, this dark corner.
Dark corner.
So of course,
So what are you doing?
I'm gonna jump around the corner, use my increased agility since I leveled up, and run up to it and start bashing the crap out of it with an axe. And I hope it's not an innocent child or something lost in the cave.
Just beat some poor old beggar.
Wrong place, wrong time, whatever. It's their own fault. They were hanging out at the end of the Trail of Blood.
The fucking this is where the Trail of Blood leads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I
the-
know where the trail leads. Damn it, I'm a good blood hunter. I get results.
You're reckless. Just take your blood.
You take my blood, but damn it, I'm a good blood hunter.
Turn your blood in.
Keep
Keep your sword.
Good to see you, Pop Swoles. Where the heck you been, my dude?
Yeah.
Ah, dude, swollen.
Where's you been? I haven't seen you.
He's been swelling. Maybe he swelled too much.
No, he's been swollen, bro. He's getting them swole.
But maybe it's like, Willy Wonka where he swelled too much.
What it was is
And
he probably was.
Oompa came and rolled him off.
He probably moved to Brovia, the House of Games.
Yeah.
Then he put you to
That's
work in the
neat.
way mines of Provia. Squadron United.
Tasha.
One man, one mission to get swole. This Christmas.
Coming to theater nowhere near you.
His name was Papa. They sent him to work in the way mine.
Somebody was grounded.
Grounded.
What?
What you do? You break it?
How old?
Maybe he's a fighter pilot. They grounded him.
That would mean he'd have more time to watch us.
Maybe he's depressed. Maybe he needs cookies.
I think what he really means is what we all assume it is, which is he had his toys taken away for a little while. Yeah, just one of those moments. No Xbox, no PlayStation, no PC, no nothing for fucking 3 months.
Turn your dad off.
Batman.
The only people you can call is me.
Yeah. I would say we've all been there, but I've never been grounded in my whole life, so I don't know.
Man, you're a nice kid, aren't you?
No, I just never got caught.
I've been grounded.
That explains a lot.
Disciplined is what they called it in my day.
Back in my day.
Beetlejuice?
I've got all my stuff in my room taken away, but
Have you never seen Beetlejuice?
Where are you getting Beetlejuice from?
Someone said Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
Oh, you just summoned him. Thanks a lot.
Great, now we have to deal with Michael Keaton.
Okay with that.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm not sure that his acting in Birdman was like acting,
Yeah.
so thanks for that.
Someone's been on TikTok or something
We've been on for about 45 minutes or so.
Yeah, about 40 minutes.
on the hunt.
So, with great axe in both hands, lit on fire with your crimson right, you rush the corner, come out swinging, and as you come around the corner, you see the Fogler sitting in a pile of bones, and he's chewing on the remains of the woman that he slaughtered. And you see him reach down to the rib cage and snap one of the ribs out and pull it up to eat.
Chew on
And
this!
as you're coming into attack, it looks at you and then looks past you as you feel a claw strike you in the back.
Oh no!
There's multiple.
Ah,
And then-
jeez.
The one in front of you, when you come in the swing, dissipates into fog. So, you take...
It was all a dirty trick.
It was all a ruse.
The blood's a lie.
The blood is alive.
So you take 9 slashing damage.
That's a good amount of slash damage there.
So, you feel the
Good
claws
slash.
rake into your back, piercing through your armor, dragging across. You yell out, turn and swing as hard as you can, coming around, and you see what looks like a different foglet than the one you've been following. This one looks different, like smaller, maybe younger? You're not really sure, and then it hits you. You forgot that foglets often travel in pairs when you were trying to recall the information from the very beginning.
Oh, that's a critical point of information.
Where there's one old one, there's normally a younger one learning and waiting to take over its territory.
Bastard.
As you swing through and are engulfed in fog. So, you stand there, hitting nothing, coming back around into a guard position, and then the older one manifests in front of you and lashes out. So I need you to make a dex check to avoid the blow as it lashes
Just
out.
flat. Or
Yeah,
a save?
acrobatics. Not a
Acrobatics.
save, acrobatics check.
Acrobatics. Luckily, I'm good at acrobatics with a 18.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you come in from your guard position. It strikes out a wide arcing attack. You can see the blood on its claws and the fury in its eyes and the drool coming out of its teeth, and it's this disheveled, disgusting beast in front of you. These long, crimped ears and that strange, older, like white hair strands just coming off the top of its mostly bald head. It comes in to strike. You slip to the side and come straight down with the axe, and an arm comes off. As it howls and crimps its arm backwards and just slips back into the fog. You immediately turn around, looking to waiting for an attack from the younger one. But it doesn't come. And the fog slowly dissipates. As you hear whimpering moving further away and see the fog drawing down the corridor away from you.
I'm going to use this opportunity to change into my natural state. As I rip out while holding, I'm going to maintain holding the great axe. I don't want to lose that shit. We all know what happened when I lost my sword.
Actually, I want you to make a sleight of hand check to see if you can maintain your grip on your weapon as you change.
Ooh,
you're
excellent choice, sir.
Yeah. Because you are shedding your body and shedding all the skin. So.
Yeah, so what kind of check?
Sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand. I am not very good at that. So,
I'm going to ask for a DC 10 sleight of hand check.
oh, what I get? Because I can't read
A
it.
7.
7
Plus 2. No.
Oh.
So, in a moment of being caught up in the chase and that midpoint transformation between going into that animalistic state of mind, you forget that you shed almost all of your body off of you as your Goliath skin starts to slab off and your hands twist and transform into the elongated hybrid form of a werewolf. You lose your grip on your great axe as it drops to the floor, extinguishing
Oh, dang.
as it hits the ground.
Yes, you remembered how that worked.
Good for me.
Rules.
But after just a few seconds further, to helping tear off your skin and shedding that onto the ground, leaving the mulch and blood on the ground, you eventually snap your snout, breaking out of your face and reshaping into the elongated form of a wolf, and your ears falling off completely and bringing out the fur and tall, outward-facing, almost German Shepherd-like radar ears of your werewolf form. You immediately snap to catching the scent of decay further down towards the fog, catching it almost permanently, just cinches into your nostrils, soaks into your fur.
I run after it, and as I run, I would like to activate my Crimson Right yet again to inflame my paws so I can see where I'm going.
So once again, concentrating, your claws catch a flame lighting the way in front of you. You start running down the hallway with increased agility and speed, jumping over fallen and debris that's blocking the hallway. You dash around the corner, dash around another corner, and it opens up into another chamber. A wide, long, elongated, tall ceiling cave chamber. And there you see both the foglets in the center of the room. The younger one kind of trying to maybe tend to the older foglet. They're like looking at his dismembered arm and making these strange animalistic like noises at one another, not speaking in any language that you can comprehend.
Oh, I'm gonna ridge up, and I'm gonna go straight for the wounded one.
Okay. Can I get a acrobatics check, please?
And let me double check 1 second, because I don't make a lot of acrobatics. Let me see. Strength check. So it's advantage on strength checks. Okay. Yep. So it's 11.
11?
Yeah.
So you rush forward, and you make a wide leap coming in with your claws, and you come down on top of the older foglet. You see it turns and sees that you're in. The younger one just turns in the fog immediately and slips to the side, but you catch the older one. Your claws dig straight into its skull, into its eyes, pushing through, blood gushing out. It yelps out in pain, this agonizing, twisted face, and you just twist its skull and crush it in your hands. Pulling away, throwing your claw out together, and just throwing Icar on the floor as it falls just dead straight to the ground.
I'm gonna howl. Oh! I'm gonna turn, and I'm looking for the small one. I'm trying to track him down. 20.
20. And so you sniff and immediately snap to the side, and you see it come out of the fog, its form in full. It jumps out at you, coming from the top with both of its claws in a swiping motion. But seeing it that time, and almost telegraphing itself with its smell, you dodge to the side and make a quick lash with your claws, catching it in the stomach, tearing open sections of it. But once again, it disappears into the fog.
Oh, jeez. So there's fog around me then, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it so? Well, I'm gonna try and recall, or discern, when they slip into the fog. They still, or if I'm remembering right, they still make the clattery noise from walking around, right? No.
For all intents and purposes, they become the fog. They
become the fog.
noise.
It's almost like misty form kind of thing.
Yep.
Well, if that's the case, I'm gonna attack the fog.
Just randomly?
Just randomly. Like, I'm gonna try and see, because it's young and stupid. It probably telegraphed a little bit, and so I'm gonna try and, like, follow its motion, like, read it. Like, obviously I'm not gonna attack randomly behind me necessarily.
Well, that's two different things. Do you want to just start attacking the fog randomly, or do you want to, like, try to perceive where this thing is at?
I want to try and perceive
Make a
where it
perception
is.
check, please.
Maybe if the fog is denser in an area. 12.
So, you do notice that every once in a while there seems to be some sort of dense, almost humanoid-like shape that kind of feathers in and out, like in a flickering motion as it moves around the outskirts of you in like a low crawl run, just kind of on the outside.
I'm gonna faint. I'm gonna not like pass out faint, but I'm gonna faint like I have no idea what it's doing, and I'm gonna try and let it get the impression that I have no idea what it's doing, so that I catch it off guard.
Make a performance check.
First performance check, guys. First.
It's like,
Bad performance check. 2.
Ooh!
So
-1. 3
So
minus
you,
1, everybody.
So you turn your back, you see where it's coming from, and it's getting closer to you, and you kind of turn your back, but you flare your nostrils as you try to look away, and it changes its tactic, and it disappears and then appears in front of you and lashes out at you.
Shit.
So you take 6 slashing damage as it hits the front of your chest, tearing away fur and coming, like, ripping it off of your body.
Is that
leaving large
magical?
gashes.
Is it magical?
No, it's not magical.
Yeah, my natural hybrid form resists some of the damage.
Once again, it disappears in the fog.
Okay, I'm done playing.
Get here.
I'm gonna track down the dense part of the fog. Tackle it. Take it down.
Make a perception check.
13.
A 13? Now, so once again, you kind of catch sight of it, kind of moving around the outskirts of the outside and around your flank. And instead of coming from behind you this time, it stops and gets real low and starts coming at you from the front again, probably assuming that you wouldn't expect it to make a head-on attack. As soon as it comes into material form, though, you turn and slash outwards, making 2 quick strikes. Once again, going straight for the center mass of the body. You catch ribs and hold on to them, and you just twist and tear, and the fog splits in 2. And you throw the opposite body parts away from you as they go slamming into the cave floor and spattering blood and ichor all over the floor. Just blood just through the air as it splits in 2, and the fog just dissipates with that attack.
Savage mind. I'm gonna take the moment. I'm gonna collect myself, and then I'm gonna transform back. And then I'm gonna collect what's left of the heads. And I'm pretty wounded, so I'm gonna start walking my way. After I collect, I'm gonna check around this room.
Okay.
See if there's more evidence of their past behavior. Maybe more people missing that have gone missing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna do a quick sweep of the room. Actually, I'm gonna light a torch. Then I'm gonna do a quick sweep of the room.
Okay. Yeah, so you just, with your flame, catch the torch and it lights. Upon doing so, you kind of give yourself a once-over and you see you can still feel, even though you transform back in your Goliath form, you can still feel the pain from where it gouged you with its claws in your back. You're weary and tired. But as you scan the room, it more or less looks like it's a dead end. And you don't see any signs of any bodies or any additional remains being stored in here anywhere.
I'm gonna say I'm after doing a quick sweep, I'll collect what's left of the heads. I want to try and make it back up. I'll go up on the docks and get back to that cellar room, and see if there's anything that could identify the bodies, so I could, kind of convey the news. Yes, they passed away. This was theirs. That pile of bodies in that first room.
Were you given any sort of descriptions on the job or anything? Did you learn any descriptions of anybody who had gone missing? Aside from the fact that you were looking for a small boy.
I guess just a small boy, but maybe there's some jewelry or some personal effects that would be unique to that person.
Okay.
Jewelry, something of that nature.
Yeah. So you collect the severed heads, and you kind of loop rope through like the sides of their faces, almost like if you would be like hooking fish to a line. You just kind of string them together and let them sit on a knot, and then you tie that to your belt and kind of sash it. And as you start by going back to the room where it was feasting on the remains of the woman that it killed in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of search over her body, and you find a few pieces of silver, 4 pieces of silver. It looks like there's some sort of ring, but it doesn't really have any identifying features. It just kind of looks like a solid band, but not necessarily a wedding band. You search for any kind of locket or any kind of papers or any correspondence that might identify the woman, but you don't find anything on her. And in that same area, you find a few more bodies, mostly decayed. One of them does look like it's a child, maybe like 9 years old or so. Mostly eaten, chewed on. There's not really much left, aside from just the size of the body and how long it's been there. You assume it matches how long the child's been missing.
Looks like the situation's a wash.
Wiggity wash.
We wash.
Did the flyer have any point of contact or any information like that? I know it was someone's child was missing, but
it gave an address and a name. The address doesn't really mean much to you because you're not familiar with the streets. But the name on there was Sabian.
Sabian?
Sabian with a V.
Sabian.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Well, I guess with that, I'll collect myself and go back to the inn.
Mm-hmm.
Get some rest. I'll address the rest of this business in the morning. I had 18 health left.
I know, you got beat up real bad there. From a
All
little.
damage though.
You guys missed
You
some
take
great
s-
stuff, by the way.
You take 7 every time you do your right, don't you?
Yes.
Ooh.
That is
I did
correct.
14 damage to myself.
Oh.
Ooh.
Ugh.
That's why I didn't want to drop the axe. Secret. Now you know.
So, not being able to find your way out the way that you accidentally fell down, you decide to just take one of the boats off the dock and head out into the bay.
Oh, so the dock doesn't like extend into the other sections of dock or anything like
No.
that? Okay.
No, it's a lone cove. Your guess is it's like a smuggler's cove, or was at one point. So they either stopped using it or it was found. Either way, it was abandoned. So using one of the leftover boats, you row your way back to the main warehouses and docks, and find your way up the streets. And
Kidding.
after about an hour, you find your way back to the ghost ship inn.
Oh, I'm nauseous. I don't do boats.
Boats.
Yeah, so I go up to my room, go up to the rooms, pick one out at random, enter it, and I go to sleep.
Andy, is your homebrew high fantasy or low fantasy?
What do you mean?
I have
Oh,
level uppers asking if your homebrew settings is high level fantasy or low level. I would say high.
Well, I mean, it's definitely high fantasy because there's lots of fantastical elements to the world, like the floating cities of Sultanas, plus like all the magical users you guys have encountered, and
They're
but
not
it-
everywhere.
but it's not everywhere, so it's
Balance.
high fantasy, low magic.
Okay. Hope that
Balance.
answers your question.
Yeah.
Balanced high fantasy.
It's somewhere in that mid range.
Yeah, in a truly high fantasy, high magic setting, magic does pretty much everything, and
For
everyone
everything.
has access to it.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, more or less. Wizards are pretty rare. Paladins and clerics have ranks. They're in the orders. They're not something that's everywhere, and you wouldn't be able to get can't find healing potions at any store, and you can't buy or have resurrection spells cast at most temples unless it's at a really, really major one with one of the top few archpriests in the entire organization would be able to cast a resurrection spell. So that's kind of more or less that space, and you can't just go buy +1 weapons or find them everywhere. As a matter of fact, I think only 2 of you have +1 weapons? 3 of you. Only 3 of you. 4.
Everybody's ended up.
Red Con, I grabbed my axe. I wouldn't have left without my axe.
Not like your sword.
Actually, no.
I was command
with your
worded
guys'
to leave my
last
sword.
with your
Thank
guys'
you.
last loot haul. You guys finally all ended up with +1 weapons.
Yeah, because I've had
So they're at level 7, and
Talents,
everybody finally has a
whatever.
+1 weapon. So that's kind of a
yeah, you have a plus 1.
High fantasy with low magic elements.
you
yeah,
got two.
exactly.
You have a bunch
My
of
assassin's
weapons.
brand and my.
I mean,
Plus 1
I mean, based off the way that
Yeah,
the
Wrath.
DM's
You have Wrath.
book sets out high fantasy, it's heroes setting out to do some fantastical quests.
Yeah.
You
You guys haven't reached any of that aside from defeating LaFay.
Defeating the Fae!
But
Hey, we are the guardians of the veil.
yeah, you are.
Not getting killed in the towers.
So hopefully that's enough information to give you an idea of what kind of setting
milestone.
the homebrew is set in and everything. But so
Revenge
who's paired up in what rooms?
God, I wasn't.
I'm
Guys
off walking the streets.
I know you are, but there's 2
I'm a
rooms.
night walker.
So
I mean, I just went and grabbed a room and passed out.
Voss was in the room with Solas,
Where I left my stuff.
where you
You
left your
probably
stuff,
wandered in and passed out in my room.
and then you're staying in
Roll.
which room?
Not theirs. Not Solas and Voss's.
Probably.
So the
not.
other
Okay,
one.
so the 3 of you are in the same room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
You're with.
Wake
Yeah.
up to the
Yeah, so
smell
you,
of
yeah,
rotting
so
heads.
you fall asleep immediately, just
Rotting
completely
heads.
worn out. Your body ravaged from the fight with the foglets. You kind of stash, put them in like a burlap sack and tie it shut, and kind of leave them in the corner.
Sleep like a baby.
All right, and then so along the same time, early in the evening, you had set out looking for a temple, a shrine, church,
It's,
Parathor, correct?
yes.
So after asking around, you get pointed to this nice, neat little small church, like maybe a few blocks away from the ghost ship inn. It's nothing especially fancy, but the doors are anointed with the iconography of Parathor, and it's very, very modest. Up above, it's just like a singular window that matches the same thing, the iconography of Parathor. And you open up, and it's very small. There's maybe one singular small altar with a statue of Parathor, and then just a couple of smaller altars off to the side, a little bit more private. It's with the sun going down. It's really very little lighting. It's kind of dim in the room. You see a couple of what look like acolytes. Probably they're kind of just cleaning up the pews. There's only like 4 of them. It's not meant to service a large amount of people.
Yeah. Before,
They look over and see you kind of peeking through the door when you open it.
so upon opening the door, I'm gonna kind of like hesitate before walking in, holding the silk-wrapped lantern, heave a heavy breath, and then I'm going to slowly pace in, making my way towards,
Downtown.
making my way towards that main altar downtown.
That never gets old.
I worship you.
Yeah. The sun god. So, with a heavy creak, the door is obviously pretty old. Probably could use a replacement. You notice just looking at the metal and the work in the room. You close it behind you. A loud slam. One of the acolytes, this young man, comes over to you as you're kind of walking, making your way over there. Can I help you?
Me was wondering if me could have a private council with Parathor himself in your, is it a shrine, temple, church?
It's a small church.
In your church.
He's like,
Well, it depends. Have you paid your tithe?
Paid your tithe.
Good guess. Well, of course. You can use any one of the small altars here off to the side to have a private conversation with Parathor. We ask that you pay a small tithe in order for the privacy necessary. A small donation, a couple of silver.
What's the tithe to use the entire church and the main altar?
Just buy it out the house.
kind of looks back to the other acolytes, and they just more or less shrug. I don't believe we can close it off for just you. Especially in these late evening hours, we are expecting other individuals to come worship as the sun is going down.
When do you expect them? It'll only be maybe a minute or two. As I pull the coin purse, kind of brush it to stir the jingle of coins
All you hear is
that is attached to my belt, as that is the only other thing I brought with me.
What's the medieval version
it's a
of
cat.
money guns?
You're not wearing anything that identifies you as a cleric of Parathor, right?
No, I left all that. That's in my bag.
the older
Yeah.
version of medieval money guns is a sack of gold.
Yeah,
You
just
just-
going like this.
Oh, it's a blunderbuss. It's not.
Low powder blunderbuss.
I would just think it's the coins jingle.
Should have to have a gun. It has to be projected.
Gun.
Or a cannon.
Make a persuasion check.
Light 'em on fire.
Dope, son of a bitch.
Do it.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Pray for guidance.
Oh, son of a bitch. Ooh, that's gonna be a 2.
It's gonna be
You put that in the house of Parator.
Get out of
He
here.
kind of just he kind of looks you at you real careful, and he's is there some particular trouble that you're having? It seems like you're in a very not agitated state, but there's something about you that are you having some sort of internal crisis of some sort that maybe one of the priests or I can assist you with?
What's your name, son?
My name is Tinson.
Tinson, as a cleric of Parathor, me knows that the priests and the acolytes are very helpful people, but me knows that only Parathor may answer me questions.
Make a persuasion check.
Come on, buddy. That's gonna be a 13.
13. Once again, he looks over you, and hearing you kind of catch the attention of the other acolytes and the priest, and they kind of come over to you, and he looks at you. I see no resemblance of a cleric. You wear no iconography, and you don't seem to be carrying yourself in any kind of way that would. I don't really believe that you're a cleric.
I'm gonna lean in close.
I'm on fire.
Fireball.
Light him on fire.
What's that person within fireball distance?
Yeah, right. Everybody at all times, according to the spell,
Everybody at all times
is within fireball range. Yeah.
Now, Tinsel, me does not. Me feels slightly insulted that you would question a cleric of Parathor that is transporting a holy relic of Parathor, and that you would not offer me this private counsel if it is only for a couple of moments. Me promises no harm upon ye church, or no harm upon your patrons if they walk in. Me just needs a couple minutes.
I don't question or assume that you have any form of ill intent. I wouldn't believe that of anybody who truly worships the Lord of Light, or the Lord of Dawn, and the bringing of the sun to dark areas. I do question the motives of anybody who would come to us without any proof of him being a cleric. You wear no garments of your station and no iconography of your station or authority of such. Passing yourself off as something that you're not is a serious crime within the church. So we hesitate to just assume that you have such authority.
Aye, and as a cleric of Parathor, me would know that that is a serious crime. Me is more than willing to pay your tithe or whatever it is me needs to do. Me can happily pay for that door to be replaced so it is nicer when people walk in so their ears aren't grated with the sound of the squeak. Me is only here to worship me God same as ye.
So he finally turns, looking to the priest, this old man, for guidance, and some he has no. This kid has no idea what to do, and you can see it written all over him. The priest comes forward. Young sir, what is the relic that you have covered? What is it that you bring into the holy church of the Lord of Dawn? You claim as such to be his divine will, his representative. What is this relic?
I gotta look to the acolytes. How many are there?
There's 3 acolytes,
And
including Tinsel.
how do they, they young for their years?
Tinsel looks the youngest, which is probably why he was directed to approach you for, practice. But he... Yeah, basically.
Terrible, man. You're making me relive my life here. Stop it.
Hey, I'm corporate.
Tinsel looks like he's probably 16ish. The other 2 look a tad bit older, maybe in their early 20s. The priest himself, he looks like he's at least in his mid 50s to late 50s or so. He he still has a full head of hair. It's starting to white. He has this kind of long beard that's kind of braided into 2 different parts, and he's wearing these older style robes. They're very old, and you recognize them because it's the similar style of robes that was worn by the priests in the church in Breathorpe. They're kind of out of style, and you can see that they're worn. Some of the colors are beginning to fade, but he still has all the regular iconography and additions that would come with somebody at the level of priest. You recognize the signet ring and the amulet that annotates his position. But yeah, that's right around mostly the 20s, but the priest is definitely in his in 50s. Pretty seasoned.
Okay, so I look to the 3 acolytes. Okay, I take a step towards the priest. I imagine he's got a few inches, maybe even a foot on me.
Yeah, he's kind of standing on the dais. You're just in front because it's a very small chamber, only maybe 30-foot room by maybe 30 feet, 30 by 30 or so, with just a vaulted ceiling. You can see it's really worn out, and some of the beams are cracking and kind of coming apart above you. Most of the candelabras are really worn, and they're kind of starting to lose that luster. They're at that point where no matter how many times you clean them and wax them down, they're just not gonna shine anymore. Most of the candles are really burnt down. The wicks are almost gone. But yeah, he's just above you at the first step of the dais. So being a normal sized human to you, you're looking up at him.
Okay. As I take a step towards him, away from the acolytes, like to try and beckon him down to my level.
Okay. So he steps forward and kind of puts his hand up, and they step back and step aside. And he comes forward with his hands in the position of annotation, and he just looks at you.
In a very hushed tone as he nears me, and I try and be pretty close to him where only he can hear me.
He leans down to listen.
Perfect, Me has no problem showing you this relic, but me does not know how seasoned your acolytes are, and me would like to keep it from those that wish to take it.
So, you are in the safety and the company of fellow worshippers of Parathor. Nobody here would take any sort of relic or cause any harm onto anybody who walks through these doors, or even outside of the doors. It's not the way of the Lord of Dawn.
Well, if ye trust them, then me will trust ye word. And I'm going to walk up to the altar. Okay. And I'm going to with a very, almost kind of like reluctant motion, I'm gonna set it down, and I'm gonna remove the silk covering slowly.
Okay. Yeah, so they're all watching you at this point. As you slowly unravel it, eventually taking the cloth, the protective cloth, just completely off of it. And there's this old lantern in front of them. The priest and the acolytes share a look between one another, and the priest comes forward closely, and he's just investigating this. I don't recognize this relic. What is it?
Well, me hails from Dunfell. If he's heard about it, then he knows the stories. If not, it's irrelevant. But it's it used to have a very small shrine dedicated to Parathor. But this was one of the holy relics that we kept safe. You know, as Parathor's light shines all over the desert of the Shamara. And so this has come a very long way with me. This lantern.
I've never heard of Dunfell, but the Shamar Desert is indeed far away. And you have come a long way to bring it to us. I cannot, off the front of my mind, remember any sort of writings or specific teachings that point out any lantern that belongs to Parathor, or any sort of relic that would be on record that we could identify this with. I don't believe there are any stories or if there's any history or recollection of such a relic. I do see that it does have iconography that identifies itself as being attached to Parathor.
Aye, the old symbols are on it, as are, maybe even older than what you carry, even though you do carry some of the oldest ones that me sees normally nowadays. But, no, me carries the lantern, sees where its final destination is. Me doesn't know yet, but me would like this moment to just speak with Parathor, see if he has any insight, any wisdom for me.
So, he looks at you, looks at the lantern, and then looks up at the statue of Parathor in his his normal stance, standing upright with the holy symbol, and just kind of staring straight forward outwards at the congregation. You're very used to seeing these statues and shrines. And he looks back at you. You can have your few moments. Maybe he will answer and give you some insight into the use of this relic or where it came from, but either way, you may have a few moments before the first prayers before the congregation begins.
With one hand, I want to take it down reach down to my gold purse, okay?
Mm-hmm.
With the other, I want to bring him close again to me, okay? And I'd like to pull out. They said the regular tithe was like a few silver.
Yeah. Normally it'd be like copper, like per person, but you were kind of asking for a special favor, so they wanted to charge a little bit more.
Okay. So then I'm going to, like, dwarven hands are smaller, okay? But they're still meaty, okay? And I'm going to reach in there, I'm going to pull out.
It's not that they're small, it's that everybody else's hands make them look smaller.
Hey, just because our hands are small doesn't mean anything else. But I'm going to pull out what's about 21 gold pieces. Okay. As I bring him down, I'd like to place them gently in his palm. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah. So he takes the gold pieces and turns to one of the acolytes, and they go over and grab just kind of this very basic brass dish and bring it over, and he throws the tithes in there and the donation, and They take it back and set it back down on the dresser that it was sitting on. And then he nods, and they walk away, and they go back to near the door, and they start kind of prepping and cleaning, setting up the rest of the pews.
Okay. So they're still within like the main foyer, the main area,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, it's only 30 feet,
Oh,
so it's very tiny.
okay. So
It barely qualifies as being like more than a shrine at this point.
as they kind of retreat away, you know, kind of think to myself, you know, it's better than nothing. So I walk to the altar where I've left the lantern, and at first Solas is just going to kind of sit there and stare at it, and he's going to stare at the statue of Parathor, and he's going to spend a good maybe 30, 45 seconds just looking, and then he's going to get real close to the lantern, and he's going to like the altar. If I were to drop down on my knees, would I be like head level with the lantern, or would I be shorter than it? Like,
Yeah, you'd be close enough to eye level with it. Yeah.
okay. So I'm gonna walk up to it, get down on my knees, and like almost like I'm whispering to the lantern. Parathor, me doesn't know if me has upset ye. Me doesn't know if one can upset a god. But me feels as though me has had multiple signs shown to me recently that makes me think that me has grown out of favor with you, as if me has gone down an improper path. What is me supposed to do? Is me still your loyal and faithful and treasured servant, or is me just a discarded tool at this point? Me needs guidance, and me doesn't know where to go from here. Me sees two paths. One that leads into darkness and unnothingness and fear. And your lantern has always led me down that path. But when we lost it, and when we found it again, it didn't feel like it was leading me down that path anymore. It didn't feel like it was leading me anywhere. The other path leads to a home. A home me no longer has. But something close. And something that me may be able to just forget the rest of my days in. What is me path? It's going to get really choked up about that.
Okay. Yeah, so you have this conversation with the statue, and you start to get emotional, and you kind of look around, and you look at this statue that's normally so like warm, and it's just meant so many different things to you over the years, hope and wisdom, and you feel like it's always, anytime you've ever done something like this, there's always been some sort of guidance, some sort of push or pull morally, some sort of give or direction inside that you normally feel, but there's just nothing. You feel just a distance between you, even though you're just feet away from it, maybe even just inches. You feel so separated from this statue. Like it's looking past you, not at you. There's no comfort in being in the presence inside this church. And there's nothing. There's no voice, no whisper, no response.
Solas is going to sit there. He's going to wait. He's going to be patient up until the doors because he'll hear it because they're old and creaky.
Yep.
You know, up until he hears those open with the first patrons. Okay. And then he'll stand up and kind of like rub his eyes, you know, brush away the tears, and he'll I didn't get the priest's name, but priest, a moment of your time.
So he comes walking over to you. Yes, how may I help you?
Me has been so rude. What is his name?
My name is Zargo.
He really does appreciate he letting me use this moment. Methinks the lantern may have found a destination. Me is not sure. Didn't get any answers, right?
Well, you're more than welcome to leave the lantern here, and we will tend to it and keep it with the other additional relics and books dedicated to his worship, and it will be cared for. But for some reason, I get the impression that it's not meant to stay here. It's meant to be with you.
What makes you think that?
The fact that in all of my years of study and worship, I've never encountered or seen such a relic or heard of such a relic before. As far as you've brought it, far away from the Shattered Coast and the many, many faithful worshippers, a dwarf.
We got raided.
I feel like it came to you by your way for some reason, it's meant for you to have.
But why me? Does it just want to return back to the Dunefell, back to its original shrine? Where am I supposed to take it?
Only you can answer that for yourself. I don't believe you would travel all this way just for it to need to take you back. Have you found comfort and solace in this relic, in your duty to travel with it and keep it with you? Has it brought you comfort in times of darkness and when all hope has been lost?
Aye, for majority of the time me has had it. It did exactly that. But recently it's only brought me guilt.
I believe you might be putting too much of an emphasis on the relic itself and not in the faith you have in Parathor. That he knows that it belongs to you, that it should be with you. The relic is simply but a tool. It's just, he looks at it, it's just brass molded and shaped into, with glass. It's just a light. Without someone to wield it or direct it, to point it into dark places, it has no other use, no other meaning. You must give it meaning. Through your actions is the only way.
Solas is gonna really think about that, stroking his beard, you know? And after, I don't know, it's like, you're really in, can you see it?
Dwarven beard, yeah, you know. Do you like fiddling with the jewelry?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
you know?
You have a favorite one you get to and you're just like twisting it and playing with it? This one reminds me of home.
When you spin one of them, you hear.
After a couple of moments, though, you know? He looks up at the priest, okay? If this is true, then why wouldn't Barathor tell me that?
I would be surprised if he ever spoke to you for any reason. Barathor's... the Lord of Dawn and Light in dark places. He speaks to us in far more subtle and intimate ways than using words. If you are in fact a cleric, and he's charged you with the divine power, the divine ability to spread his messages and seek out the evil in the forgotten corners of the world, through those actions and continuing that path, will it become more clear to you what your place is. It might not be more than just that. And you should be humble in the fact that he's even given you that task, if that's all it leads to. Just spreading his divine messages and doing good in the world is more than enough for myself, for the acolytes, for most worshippers. We can't guess at his will, at his intentions, or why he would say anything to anyone. In direct intervention, it's forbidden. It would be highly unlikely that the one who created the Tablets of Providence, that attached the gods to their duties and their agreements and their domains, that the one who sits as the lead counsel to all other gods would undermine that in any way. Again, I look to the lantern as a sign that it's meant to be with you. Just continue following the path and do right by the people you encounter. He's not a jealous God. Doesn't get angry at those who love him, those who he knows believe in him, have faith in his words. He won't steer you wrong. That internal drive that took you from the Shamar Desert all the way to the Shattered Coast, and that natural feeling that you have to do good in the world, to be the beacon of hope and light, if that's all he has planned for you, then do so. And do so humbly and with pride.
May appreciate your counsel, priest. Your words have not fallen upon deaf dwarf ears. I'm gonna rise. I'm gonna go grab the lantern.
Okay.
And wrap it in the silk again.
Okay.
I'm going to, as I go to walk past the priest, I'm going to stop and I'm going to go, May Barathor light your path.
As he does with all.
And I leave back to the inn.
Yeah. So as you turn to the preach and acknowledge him, and you exchange those rites, one of the acolytes opens up the side door that goes into another room. When he opens it, you see through the door something that catches your eye. As he's opening it, you see what looks like a burnished breastplate with the symbol of Parathor on the front of it. Golden and shining in the candlelight in the back room on an armor rack. It looks just like it matches your warhammer and your shield.
He's about to steal.
Just like this cat, they have everyone's attention.
And the door closes.
God, I'm trying to remember the name of the guy who that belonged to originally.
I know we can get it. Bloomy.
No.
Meow.
Blinky blinky.
Okay, so he said that Parathor doesn't get mad at people who worship him, but that's probably one of those things where he probably would.
That's probably a no-no.
But from what you said, you
I
really
don't-
shouldn't do anything.
I don't think Solas would appreciate it.
Braff.
Raph?
Braff.
Wrath or Brath?
Braff. The plate armor of Braff.
Are we?
We'll pause for a moment.
Uh-huh.
And we'll walk back to Zargo. Priest, me is sorry to take up more of your time, but me noticed something out the corner of my eye. Do ye happen to have the armor of Braff?
He kind of looks at you and, whatever do you mean?
There's a there's a set me has, which is a shield and a warhammer. They belong to a dwarf by the name of Braff. They said he was a good cleric of Parathor. He's heard a couple of stories about him, but obviously he was important enough to have his armor and his weapons enshrined as relics. Me carries the two, but me has been looking for the armor because it is said to have been lost. Me was just wondering if it was that particular piece.
He thinks for a moment. Raph. The name sounds familiar. I believe I've seen such a name of a cleric in the records. But I'm not sure if what armor we have matches the description. We actually don't know what this armor is. If it's what you believe you saw through the entry or the exit off to the side, then it may be. This came to us as a donation from a wealthy noble before I was here. It's been sitting on that armor rack and gets cleaned and washed every day. But who wore it or where it came from, aside from the fact it was donated to our small church many, many, many years ago, I don't know. I can't say for sure. If you bring the warhammer and the shield here, we may be able to identify similarities if it truly did belong to a cleric as a set, or was owned by the same cleric.
Aye, absolutely. Me would like to see that, and me would agree that if it does, that's all three pieces should belong together.
How did you come by owning pieces to this cleric's belongings?
Brethorpe, the church in Brethorpe armored me with it. After me's involvement in the war with the orcs.
So was Brath laid to rest in Brethorpe?
Me believes he was.
It's interesting. Well, if you bring the armaments back to us, we can look to see if they're identical and have matching patterns or works and craftsmanship. Should be easy enough for you to distinguish as a dwarf.
Aye, there's something to look into. Thank you again for your time.
So as you're leaving, people begin filtering in. You kind of have to make your way out past the small congregation. A few small families with children going inwards, taking their seats at the pews, and the acolytes just bow and quietly, or as quiet as they can, close the doors behind you.
Okay.
Do you make your way back to the Ghost Ship Inn?
I go back to the Ghost Ship Inn.
Okay. So it takes you about 30 minutes to find your way back, the few blocks and walking, taking your time, the view of the city, observing the way that the sunlight and those last rays of dawn kind of, in just the right place, really illuminate the backdrop of the keep and the castle high up on the rock side. And there's just this kind of flare of beams that you see that just comes right across it, hitting some of the gilded architecture on the walls and some of the holy symbols, and then hitting just right the Temple of Parator near the keep. This large looming structure, just its huge stained glass windows catching the light, and just knowing that there's got to be at least over 100 or more people in that temple, at this exact moment, all worshiping Parathor and taking in those very precious and important moments of the dawn, and going down and starting a new day, going through the tenets of being wiser every day, and taking each day as a learning experience to kind of just embroil yourself in what's going on around you, and look inward to doing better, and remembering that that's more than anything, that's what he represents, on the Shattered Coast especially, is just wisdom and love, and washing out evil and the sins of evil deeds with every new morning when the sun rises again. And you finally make your way back to the Ghost Ship Inn. Do you go back up to your room?
Yeah, I don't happen to see any of my party members or anything downstairs doing.
No, nobody's.
No.
You get back early in the. Hargraves is still gone at this point when it comes to timelines. Everybody else has had their baths and is relaxing and has gone to bed. The tavern, not the tavern, the inn's pretty empty for the most part. There's just one person working the bar, and there's a couple of drunkards in the corner. There's nothing really going on.
Okay. Okay. We'll walk up to the barkeeper first.
Okay.
Do you do, wake-up calls?
So, you don't recognize this barkeep. So, from when you originally came in, the three that were working, this individual actually looks like he's... damn it.
Name
There we go.
Steven.
No.
Steven, damn it.
Yeah, Steven Damn.
Damn it.
Damn it.
No, he looks actually... he actually looks like he's probably from, the east, near Shamara. He has that... the way he's dressed and stuff kind of puts you off, but he looks like he's Kadarin. And he just looks at you. No, I do not think so. No wake-up calls.
Could gold change that decision?
How much gold? I think, 2 gold pieces is enough for me to pass the message on to the next person who comes in the morning.
Damn.
How about... How about 3 gold pieces, and you pass one of them to the person who's going to wake me up?
Look, the next person who comes in to take over would be the one who woke you up. We
I...
don't have maids or service. It would be the innkeeper or one of the other attendants that works.
Aye, absolutely. But if you're taking 2 gold just to pass a message, me feels like there needs to be another gold for that person to actually do it.
Maybe.
Aye, so 3 gold. Me would like... What were our rooms numbers?
Upstairs.
66 and 67, I think.
What? That's not right at all.
Wouldn't want a mid game.
Oh, you got a good point there. Thank you.
Just to let you know.
Scotland forever.
Scotland
Zip
forever.
I agree with that.
Scotland.
Look.
Scotland!
Look, there's 3 rooms.
Welcome to Scotland.
There's 3 rooms under Patty. One's a suite and 2 are not. The 2 that aren't suites, before the first lights of the morning, me would like everyone in those rooms woken up.
Sweet. This makes me super happy.
Oh, this fucking guy.
Alex's face was so good.
Well, I guess we know who's not getting a long rest tonight.
Me would also like...
Just rack up my kills for the day.
So you're about to get mauled by a werewolf.
Right. So, I put out the 3 gold, okay, and I said another one. I want the next one for meals, first thing in that morning.
Well, I believe the meals are already paid for.
Aye, but that's like early, you know? Me doesn't know if the cook's up by that point. Me thinks a gold would get the cook out of bed.
That's a good appreciation.
No.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I can't. It's not like I can go and tell him to be here in the morning. That the kitchen's already closed for the night.
Well, me hopes ye will do what ye can, you know, for 2 gold
It's
pieces.
more than likely that we just serve you the leftovers from dinner.
Well, as long as it's like heated or something, you know?
I'm so happy we went to bed early.
I'm not exactly sure what was served. I could look. Normally we have a soup that could be reheated.
Well, they're gonna want something. They're gonna be mad at me. So, I leave the 4 gold,
Okay.
and I head up to my room.
Yeah, he takes them. Ding, 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 ding. Stacks them up. Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding.
Well, now he has to do the service, right?
Obviously, right? It's just like the boy outside, you know?
Either way.
I go to bed.
Okay.
But I put the lantern wrapped up back in the bag.
Okay.
It's in the bag.
What's in the bag? It's a lantern, you dopes.
Okay.
Blinded by the light.
So, morning comes. Really should think of this when there's knocking on your doors.
Trouble.
Yeah.
I get up.
I fucking...
Yeah, clearly it's trouble.
Yeah, I'm
Clearly.
freaking
Clearly.
out.
Clearly.
I got my freaking dagger ready.
You get raft ready.
Go in stealth mode. Climb walls, Loomy style. The
I
fuck
don't
is
wake up with my
happening?
hand.
Like a cat in the fucking curtains.
Yeah.
Scared, you just like out the wall. You just slip back down slowly.
I don't get up. My eyes are still closed, but my hand reaches, finds the nightstand, and throws it at the door.
Oh dear.
Oh no!
My armor.
My armor!
So each of you guys knock. When it gets to your room, you huck it and it slams into the door, and you audibly can hear the person like jump back from the door, and then you just hear him. White of the Lord Dawn, and he comes and knocks again, louder this time. Like bangs on it.
And who's in your room?
And you just hear a voice. Listen, somebody paid to wake you up. That's what I'm doing. Don't throw or break anything else in that room. I'm gonna charge you for it.
Who is this fine individual that did this to us? Did it really
I
fast.
don't know. The message was passed to me to wake up these rooms. That's all I know. Iron Gold, I'm done. You're awake. And you hear him walk down the hall.
Why are we getting awake at this ungod-awful hour? What is this?
Who's in my room?
No.
You and Voss.
Yeah, it's just you and Boss.
Wait, 4 of you slept in a room together?
Well, I don't know which room I was in, so...
I just
Whatever room you want.
Okay, I'll be in your room.
I assumed you hooked up. So
there's something comforting about the body
Didn't come
heat
back.
of a dragonborn.
Because
Something.
we have, you're in a room, room, you're in a room, Thalen's in a room, and then
It really
I'll
doesn't
be
matter.
with
yeah. So
I just want to know.
Okay, we're all in the same room.
Yeah.
We're
So-
scared.
Yeah, just-
Fucking might
So-
split the party.
Hargraves.
So I have a freaking.
Good.
Oh no!
Good.
Go ahead. Go
Good.
ahead.
Good.
Go ahead.
Good.
You have
Go
started.
No, you got a weapon out, please.
All right.
continue.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
I like where this is going.
You have weapon. Continue.
Getting waken up. That I look back. Boss, did you do this?
I did not do anything of the kind.
Don't
I would
don't.
not wake up this
Solas?
god-awful early. I'll have you know.
I don't blame him. Me called for the call.
Why?
Why?
It's so weird when you're talking as your accent is Thalen.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I wasn't sure who
Why would
reacted
you do
just
this?
now.
Why would you do something like this?
Look, just follow me down. There's hopefully food down there.
That should be food down there.
There might be food down there, and there's obviously drink for you, just not too much.
Is there
I will
warm
drink as yeah, his voices. I will drink it.
If there is not, we will send the boy.
Okay.
Okay.
You can send a cow to my direction.
Aye, we will send ye a cow. We'll light it on fire. The milk will be piping hot right out the cow.
I like this.
It's not much
Theoretically.
Gotta go now.
No, boss. It's how you make the cat
Yeah,
happy.
you're not here. Guess who's controlling your character?
Yeah.
Ha!
There's no one to blame but yourself.
Yeah,
Hey,
now we all
did this.
expect you to do the accent when you come back too.
Yep.
I won't take no for an answer.
It's
This is-
canon.
Yep.
Why?
And now.
So you were saying that we must be awake in the morning, and
Yeah, just-
there's food and drink.
Aye, just calm down with me.
If there's not a reason why I'm awake this early in the morning, and I don't have time to shine my horns, I will be very aggressive at you.
You smell
Also
really
canon
bad.
now.
Shine ye horns at the table. You will have plenty of time.
And
This
only
red
I have the
complexion.
power to Disney this universe. Imagineer that. Yeah.
Fine. Let me get dressed.
I'm gonna grab my.
What are you guys doing?
Smell
I'm
bad.
taking 10 minutes to put my armor on.
Hey.
Yeah, that makes sense. What about you?
Why are you?
I'm not getting up. Tired.
Why are you throwing end stand
And
furniture at the door?
Keep talking and you're next, Terrowyn.
I grab my cane and I'll start poking him. I'm supposed to be awake. Why aren't you awake?
Oh, in the cuts.
I'm gonna grab the
well,
cane.
they're mostly
Hey!
healed because of his fast healing as a werewolf.
My healing factor. I'm like Wolverine.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey,
Ooh.
okay, give me my cane back. I'll leave you alone.
Spearman
Promise.
23.
I swear in my hat.
I give him the cane back aggressively, almost shoving him over with the cane.
Thank you. I will let them know that you did not want to be so rudely awoken at this time.
Yeah, you do that. Don't touch my bag. As you notice the rucksack, like the sack with goop. And you realize now that you're coming to your senses, the room is permeated with a decaying, rotten flesh smell.
Yeah.
Holy
Yeah, you
mother.
definitely smell it. You smell something really dead. Like long dead.
Ooh, it's probably in your
Sticky
mouth.
Dead.
Yeah.
Sticky dead.
Probably just gotta.
Ooh, you can
What
probably
is-
taste it.
Did we
Why?
leave the window open? What happened? I guess we just closed the window.
I don't. He messed the window. I think it's a bag.
It's the bodies. I can almost see them.
Bodies. What bodies? It's the bag.
The two that were dead in the street.
This is old and smelly. Dead bodies don't smell that bad until later. This is worse.
Yeah, they looked old too.
I pointed the bag in. What is that?
I point at mine with my severed head in it from the dark captain. Looks like mine.
Oh, that one reached for a couple
I'm not
days.
staying here again. And Thaler walks out after dressing. His goal is to get the hell out of there.
When all your breath is morning breath, the severed head doesn't smell so bad.
This is great.
The headless heroes over there.
Headless
All I
heroes.
see is Matt's response is no in capital letters with an exclamation point. Just don't do the accent. What is happening? Fuck.
Accent.
I get my armor on.
Take
I
the
go
time
down.
away from the table to figure it out.
You walk.
Extra week. Since
Yeah.
you took an extra night off tonight. Matt.
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 Yeah.
Matt.
Okay, guys, remember that.
If you're walking out into
So-
the hallway, you'd see
So,
me out there as
so
well.
you guys, so you see Solas in the hallway. Everybody's kind of gathering in the hall.
I'm just rubbing
Except
my
for,
eyes.
the grumpy
I'm getting my
ants.
full night's rest.
As I see you two come out of the room, okay, you first, and then you after a little bit. Where is Hargraves?
He is deciding that he would not like to be awoken at this ungodly hour, and then proceeded to throw furniture at the door in response to being awoken.
Well, me will take his wrath and barge into the room.
Good luck! He was going to claw me, and be wary of the goop bag.
Take a dagger with you. It helped
That-
me last time.
As I question aloud, what's a goop?
Yeah. It just hits you, this stink, like this decay, rot, just right in the senses, like slams in the face. You almost feel like it's wet, like you got hit with a water. It's just blam, like touches your face.
Hargraves, did you swallow a weasel whole and it hasn't passed yet? Oh!
Get out of my room. I was up late working, unlike some of you.
Working on what?
Your business. Don't worry about it.
Oh!
I'll come down when I'm ready.
Me doesn't fucking care about when you're ready. Me would like you down there now.
You're not the boss of me.
No, me is not. But as me friend, me would like to ask ye something.
Well, you don't bash people's doors down and wake them up all rude-like when you want to ask them something. You wait till they're in a good mood and they've had breakfast and they've gotten proper sleep, and then you ask them nicely.
There's breakfast down there you can sleep after.
1 out of 3. It's one out of 3. It's not bad.
Fine. Give me 5 minutes.
Okay. But if you're not down there in 5 minutes, me sitting up Thalen again.
Fuck, he's on to me. So as you leave, you see me sit up and start strapping on my boots. I'm all sluggish like a rebellious teenager.
Taking his time.
I'm taking my time, and I'm like stomping instead of walking.
Every strap's exaggerated, like, ugh.
Dumb.
Huge Goliath. I don't wanna.
You go to grab your cloak and you snap the fucking the peg right off and it's hanging on. Just blam! And you're like, whatever.
Oh shit!
You're just all angry under the breath. I'm gonna make Solas pay for that.
It's good. Good times. I'm gonna
Alright,
walk.
so everybody gathers downstairs together.
Is it food?
Yeah, there's food. It's rewarmed soup from the last night, which is sort of it's got carrots and peas in it, and it smells pretty good. It doesn't taste the greatest because it's reheated from last night or whatever. But there's bowls at the table enough for all of you to sit at. And then they come in the night innkeep or whatever comes over and brings you a couple of pitchers of ale.
Perfect for Voss's hangover.
Morning drinking. Awesome. This dude is.
I take a seat and I wait for everyone to join.
I take a seat and I pour a glass.
Boss very
Ale
slowly.
in the morning.
Boss takes some the morning brew and begins drinking already. It's time to drink. Words, accents are very hard when there's so many in the head.
Oi, Voss, could you pace yourself for once?
Boss is schizophrenic.
You are. This is a very good
Little
idea.
bit.
I shall pace myself. I apologize.
A few minutes go by.
Yeah.
Stomp.
Is it like stomp, drag, stomp,
Yeah,
drag?
Yeah, I walk
He's
up and
running his hand along the rail.
Yeah, I walk up and I sluggishly grab a chair and I drag it out, and I sit.
You just sit across from Solas and
Yeah, and I give him a look. I'm not looking over my hand at him. Hair of the dog that bit you. That came from this weird disease.
Is it what you have? Also, there's a very quick thing to pull us out of D&D real quick. Something important happened. It is Zambi's birthday today.
Oh,
Sam's
Sandy's
birthday.
Whoa,
Happy
congratulations.
fucking birthday.
Birthday!
She got a face full of brain cake.
Brain cake? That's awesome.
What's the
Sounds good.
Rob Anybody and Don song?
Happy birthday.
Now eat your blinking cake. Happy birthday, or I'll punch you in the face.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Birthday!
Birthday.
Sagittarius!
Let's
We
get
the
some hype in the
supreme.
chat. Let's get some
Hype.
human love.
You're getting old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're slowly dying like the rest of us. Physically.
Welcome
Not
to
just
the
on inside
graveyard.
like me. Not just quietly.
It's
By myself in the corner at night.
On channel 2. We don't want to hear it.
Jammer says,
There's
is
a
it a
support
good
club.
time for the giveaway for the 20% off?
Is it?
Oh,
Do you want to do it right now?
You want to do it now? Because I can walk over there and click a button. It can happen.
Oh man, we can do that. Oh, well, I mean, if we're gonna do that, let's run a break, set up the giveaway, and we'll hit it as soon as we come back. So, thank you everybody who's hanging out with us, and welcome to Legendary Action. Zambies, happy fucking birthday! I love your face. You're amazing and you're awesome. Thank you for hanging out in the channel, spending time with us on your birthday. We really appreciate it. It shows just all the support.
Super
Right
rad.
there, super rad. Right back at you. I love you so much.
And don't forget
Jammer One, Malachi, all the regulars, thank you for hanging out and being here tonight.
Stella Luna for the raid.
Stella Luna, thank you
Raid
so
of
much
21
for the raid.
people.
21 people.
You
Welcome
guys
to
are
Legendary Action,
amazing.
everybody, where we are playing Dungeons & Dragons 5e in my homebrew setting of Terrowyn. And the party is in a major city, and they had some shenanigans with their blood hunter out hunting evil creatures in the night by himself. Questions of faith from the cleric as he struggles with what it means to be a cleric and a servant of the gods, and where that's leading him. Good stuff. Obviously, early mornings. They're not morning people.
Milestone?
At least they're not pretend morning people.
And then me attempting
Yeah.
to make multiple things canon for Voss's character.
Quit trying to get me to level you. You hit level 7 like a week ago.
So first for the party. Just saying.
Can't blame the guy for trying.
But yeah, so
And Stella Luna followed.
thank you so much for the follow. Welcome
yeah.
to the fucking Hall of Legends. Don't forget to check out our socials down below. Keep up to date with everything Legendary Action. We have a Twitter, we have a YouTube where you can get all the archived episodes, and you can check it, the story so far, in the Discord channel where it says new people, basically, the new people hall. And you can catch up with the basic story up to this point. Well, just before this point, a few episodes back, but it's all pretty relevant.
Yes,
But
you
we
did
appreciate it.
Zerkerworks. You did miss Sasha.
You
Yeah.
wrong.
No, Sasha's still here. She's here. She's around.
No, you're
she's
not
over
supposed
there.
to get that with grapes.
She's over there.
Stop it.
Yeah, so sorry we didn't totally blow the lid off this place when the raid first happened. We were in the middle of some good roleplay.
Yeah, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for the raid. We appreciate it, and welcome raiders.
Give me pop. Give me pop.
If you've enjoyed what you've seen so far, don't be shy. Hit that follow button. Help us out. And if you really like what you've seen, there's a subscribe button, and you can subscribe with Twitch Prime. But
Get all the emotes.
that's not here. That's not there. We have some pretty cool emotes though. But that natty 1 is locked behind that tier 2 sub. So I'm sorry.
Gosh, wait, what's tier 3?
Tier 3.
Natty 1 is tier 3, I
Is it?
thought.
Yeah,
That's
it's tier
right.
3.
It's
That's our
locked
top
behind
one.
something more than
Yeah.
tier 1.
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Isn't it tier 2 disproving Lilith?
Chacha, come
It might be.
on.
Yeah, I think so.
By the way,
I don't know.
we are about to do a giveaway for a 25% off coupon to one of our friends, and he's in the chat. Jammer1 makes great fudge. It's a great deal, great price. There's so many flavors to choose from. We're gonna hit a break. We're gonna set up that giveaway. When we come back, we're gonna run that, and for your chance at ordering 25% off of fudge from his website.
And Zerkerworks just hit us in the
Really
face with 300 doggo bits.
Dago bits.
300 doggo bits.
He just went pocket bits. Yeah,
Pocket bits.
Pocket bits.
Check out those shiny
Ah!
bits.
They hurt so
Thank you
good.
so much.
Yeah, it's like pocket
Berserker
sand.
Works. Fucking awesome. Can you get a shout out for Berserker Works real quick? This dude is an amazingly talented painter,
That's you.
modeler, does all sorts of shit. He's working on some really cool cyberpunk shit that I'm excited for.
No,
that
it's-
I wish
type
he
it all
just
the way
worked on all the time. Do it all the time.
Yeah, he actually has great screen layout.
Oh,
He has a nice camera, so you can really see what he's doing when he's painting. He has
And then right there.
really good channel. He has a really cool gallery that plays when you're
yeah,
watching, so you can see other stuff he's worked on and done.
You're missing
And
an R
I
right
think
before
he's
the S.
gearing up for a big
No,
con
right
coming up
before the
here
S.
soon.
Left,
For
left,
Warhammer
left.
painting and stuff.
Left.
Yep.
Oh, burr.
There you go. Boom.
There we go. Okay.
Amanda's learning how to be a kobold.
I'm learning.
I'm learning.
We're going to run that break real quick. We'll be back in about 15 minutes. So don't you disappear on this. About 15 minutes. Don't disappear on us. Get some extra drinks, some fucking snacks, and you come back and we're going to get right back into that giveaway and right back into some awesome fucking
Zandy,
Dungeons and Dragons.
I know you need to
alright?
go, like, take care of the cake. I'm just saying, there's a giveaway coming for fudge.
Well,
It's,
for
well,
discount.
20% off.
For
Discount,
discount.
25%.
Scoot fudge.
Yeah, don't misrepresent
Get
it.
2 pounds when you order from this guy. I'm telling you, it's worth it. You're gonna buy it once, and then
You want
you're gonna be
fudge.
very upset that you don't have more, and
Yeah.
there's no.
You're gonna order 2
More
pounds,
leftovers.
and then you're gonna gain 2
She's
pounds,
gonna
but
leave
you
the
won't
stream
regret
up.
it because it's worth it.
Kima, hi. How are you doing tonight?
Oh, the Reaper
No.
has
The
come
Reaper.
down.
Welcome back.
The Reaper, down with the Tomb Guardians.
Down with the
In these moments, I wish I could
Guardians.
make, like, chat nicknames, so if you come in the chat often, you can have a nickname.
And for all those people who are watching in the chat, we do have a lucky. Has anybody hit the lucky number tonight?
No.
I was about to mention it.
Oh, I thought you just did. That's
No, not
There was a
yet.
lot of chat.
Yeah, there's a lot
So-
going on in the chat.
I haven't
No.
seen it yet.
Revenge Cube is trying to get it out of 100, so good on him. He's coming
Jesus,
close. He's
27.
got 18 and
Once a
17.
night, we run a lucky number, and you can hit it with our exclamation point roll space 20, and we have the lucky number. And whoever first person in chat to roll that number gets to award one player of their choice inspiration. It's just a way to, thank you and keep you entertained in chat and interact with us in, a meaningful way without charging you for it.
Everyone's
You
getting
know.
9 though. I was
Yeah.
almost about to say the lucky,
The lucky
number.
number is 19.
The lucky
That's
number is
19.
Chosen by Amanda, playing, our Tabaxi Rogue Luminous tier. By the way, we're getting distracted. We gotta go set up this giveaway so we can get you guys fudge.
Snacks.
And a
To
break.
I want
to you.
snacks.
Snap. Yeah.
Snacks.
Snatch.
Yeah,
We'll be
hit.
right back.
Fudge.
Thank you so much for spending time with us here on Legendary Action. We appreciate it.
Puppy.
Alright, we're live. Monster Hot, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, well, hi.
And giveaway is now live.
What? Oh my goodness!
Just
Giveaway is
happened
now
on-
live for your chance at a coupon, 25% off of purchase of your flavor of fudge from Fudge Love and Craze. Somebody put the Fudge Love and Craze link in there so people can go kind of pre-shop and look at it if they really want to. There's some really awesome flavors in there. You like McDonald's Shamrock Shakes because he has Shamrock Shake flavor, and it's super, super good.
He just made Rocky Road this morning.
Rocky Road this morning. Oh, so you know he has like fresh Rocky Road.
I really like this cookies and cream thing. That one's my favorite.
Also, that ASMR we were doing earlier has now turned into chip ASMR.
Ah, slow soda pours.
Canada
What
Dry.
was that? What was that, Stella Luna? What showed up again?
The fudge?
Something weird happened?
Or did we show up?
Her follow showed up again.
Oh.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
you're awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Once again, just thanks
it
for the
going.
follows. Though. Yeah.
Double follow.
I'm actually pretty sure we're already following you. I've been following you for a while, actually. I remember I got to name one of your dinosaurs on your when you were playing Jurassic World, or was it Jurassic? Yeah, Jurassic World.
No, what it is
I have to name the carnivore.
What it is Meta Mike's over there on the computer pressing buttons, and so it probably just relaunched it or something.
Double the follow, double the thanks.
Oh my god, Kobold. Kobold's a good Kobold.
Jammer said, did you get the Discord message?
You should check Discord for us then while you're over there.
That's what I'm doing.
That would be a no until just now.
No.
Thanks for pointing that out, Jammer. Either way, we're running that giveaway. What's the timer
I
on
now
that
have
giveaway?
read the message.
What's the timer on that giveaway?
Till I click the giveaway button.
So you okay? Alright, so get in there. 25% off coupon. I'm telling you, fudge is totally worth it. You get 2 pounds of your choice, of your flavor. We looked a lot at what you can get when it comes to like the cost of like $20, 2 pounds. You're paying around that cost just for 1 pound of fudge from most companies, and this is a bargain. It's good.
Yeah.
It's
It
a
is.
serious bargain
Absolutely.
for sure. 20%.
And it's really good fudge. It's not like you're paying, half the price for half the flavor. No, you're paying for like probably twice, if not better, than fudge you would buy like store bought or anything.
Yeah, for
you know?
sure.
Absolutely.
Knocks the
It's
socks
very
off.
rich.
Just in, if you just go peruse like through the choices, you can get whatever you want. He even has Kahlua flavored if you're interested in that.
And it's all homemade, which
Yeah.
you know homemade tastes better than anything.
Oh, for sure. It's like tamales.
Oh, trunk tamales.
Yep.
The best.
Yep.
The
Oh, so
best.
good.
I don't care if they violate a million health code violations. You know what I'm saying? I don't care.
It's so worth it. Just like from the trucks, man. Burritos from the trucks. Food trucks. Oh, man. Totally worth it every time.
So who's on the giveaway?
So far, in the entrance for this night's giveaway, we have Stella Luna, Kimo22, and Malachi 75.
All right.
More people get in there.
I'll give it a few more minutes. Everybody jump in.
With the reminder of
That includes
Jam.
the cast, too. Don't forget. Matt.
Yeah, Cass.
Yeah, Matt.
Wait,
Matt.
wait, the cast can hop in there?
Yeah, Cass. He says Cass and crew.
Yeah, cast and
Actually,
crew.
that's a good point. Let me grab my phone.
Excuse me real quick here.
Yeah, I
I
want to
want
know
to be
too.
in there.
I like
Everyone else, stop entering.
So,
Yeah, the cat and the dog can
You're
enter.
ruining my
Crew.
chances.
while we're waiting for this giveaway to round up, to end up, how's everybody's night going? How are you doing tonight? How's streaming been going, Stella Luna? Code is good for 30 days, so you have time. You don't have to buy it immediately. Thank you for that little update there, everyone. Sci-fi D&D? Like, just like as a homebrew setting sci-fi? Or is it like, I guess if it was anything like we would know, you probably would have just said like you were playing Star Wars D&D or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mishmash.
Or
Mishmash.
Oh, Dark
Cash
Matter.
whack.
Okay, Dark Matter. Gotcha.
Dog matter.
I've never played Dark Matter. I've actually never used D&D for any other setting for anything.
Skylar, do you want 20% off fudge? Type exclamation point giveaway right now.
John Triggerson is in here. What is
It's
up, my
John.
guy?
Fudge. No, the Bard isn't dead. The
No.
Blood God can calm down.
Bard's not dead. He's operating stream. We're in the middle of a giveaway.
Sieg's here?
Is Sieg here?
What?
Sieg,
Oh my
say
goodness.
something. You say something now.
Say something, Sieg.
Damn it.
If it's
Say
okay,
something.
if you're safe, say something.
Yeah, say something if you're safe.
Yeah.
If you're in a safe place.
That's so terrible.
He's probably off, teaching the next generation how to play Magic the Gathering
Yeah.
and D&D.
Such a wonderful
Yeah.
person.
The
Wonderful
Blood
man.
God. Who would have guessed he has a heart of
How
gold?
does he get a snowball?
Out there doing God's work.
Oh, for charity.
Oh.
Is it a convenient excuse to play Magic with kids that don't stand a chance?
Probably.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Does it make the world a better place? Probably.
I mean, they're doing that instead of like,
Drugs. And
Yeah,
gun violence.
We would, but he doesn't
Premarital
have a
sex.
loop. He writes, his art form is like poetry, like slam poetry or some shit. I don't know what it is. Like, he says he's writing stuff in his book, but like he never does anything with it, dude.
Poetry, love it.
Slam. Bard. Feelings. Hurt.
Yeah.
feelings
Hey.
hurt.
Dark. Sadness.
It's spoopy.
Magic. Shatter.
Not saying there's anything wrong with slam poetry, but yeah, that's totally fair.
Get in there.
The paper from the book, hell, stab him with the quill. I don't know, just end him already.
Wow, we have another bounty?
Dude, Andy tried.
Dude, no, I don't try. Listen, okay, that's misinformation. That's fake news.
That's
I don't
bullshit. You
try.
tried.
I don't
You
try to kill anybody. The party does it all on their own.
Yeah, that's true.
But I have thrown a lot of fucking shit, and I think Phelan has probably been hit with. I think him and probably Hargraves have been hit with the most nat 20s and
Yeah.
they still keep on going.
Yeah, definitely.
And
Definitely.
he
Roll
damages
D20.
himself as a blood hunter.
Yeah, because
That's true.
mechanics.
14.
So apparently, Nighthelm, it is 14 pounds.
Excellent.
You're right.
Alright, Alfarius has a shit ton of cocaine. Roll a d20 for how many pounds he has.
Yeah, 14.
I think Amanda
You should be measured in kilos.
entered the
I did.
giveaway, so that's basically covers.
Jammer's getting so close.
It's
All
getting
to
if,
17.
if we win, it's probably getting shared.
Yeah.
So
It sure is.
Stacking the deck.
The same house.
Maybe we can finally get an intern that'll work for Fudge.
You have so much cocaine that you can make like little cocaine castles. You just like
Coke castles.
yeah, coke castles, dude.
This is my bucket, my little sand castle.
Yeah.
I just go.
Destroy it. Oh, you shove your nose in it.
I'm the biggest. I'm the biggest dragon.
Make a soothing video where you're cutting it into equal slices like it's sand.
Plus, be like, somebody's gonna knock on my door. Like, oh, I'm praying. Just have faith. I'll be out.
Have faith.
Hey, Andy, Jam wants to know if you got into the fudge or not.
No, I answered him already.
Because-
Rocket Pepper!
Rocket
Pepper, how's it going? How are you
Rocket
doing tonight?
potatoes.
Lovely.
You should get in that giveaway.
You should get in that giveaway for 20% off coupon for your choice of flavor of fudge. 2 pounds of your choice of flavor from the amazing Jammerlin's business, Fudge Loading Craze. So good.
Fudge.
All you gotta do is
We're on that.
type ! giveaway.
Exclamation point
The
giveaway.
coupon's good for 30 days, so you can, wait till your next. You got the little bit of cash to throw at it. It's well worth it. Ships it right to your door. Good stuff.
So Nighthelm apparently said,
There
dude,
we
that
go.
would be a wax scene from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. You'd actually launch a cow.
Yeah.
They didn't actually use a catapult. They just used Alfarius.
I will live my fine steed. I just be out in the streets, some coconuts. Just the question.
Why is that horse really fast?
Yeah, Rocket Pepper, you ever feel like your cosplay's fitting a little loose? Get some fudge.
Yeah. By the way, anybody who doesn't know, go search up Rocket Pepper on her Instagram. And she's an amazing cosplayer. It's just some really great stuff. My favorite, her 40K, Sister of Battle. It's super awesome.
Swore just now.
Yeah, on
It's
point.
Sister of Battle. Just like it's Imperial Guard. It'll never... Yeah, it's Imperial Guard.
It's Astra Militarum now.
Yeah.
Our follower thing
Sound like a real heretic over there, Dark Angel.
disappeared. Where'd it go?
Our
It's
recent
like
follower
missing.
disappeared.
Yeah, recent follower thing is... Mike, what'd you do?
What'd you do, Mike?
Why'd you take it off?
What'd you do?
To make room
Because
for
it
the
was a
giveaway.
very offensive name that didn't want to be on the scene.
Ah.
Oh, yeah.
Mike's trying to save work and editing.
Someone give us a new...
Batman, yes!
Someone give us a new follow so we can get rid of the troll names.
Entries have stopped for the giveaway.
Thank you so much.
Entries have stopped for the giveaway.
Entries have stopped. Alright, it's time to do the drawing.
Oh, entries have. Oh.
Oh.
What is that kobold doing?
A lot of things. Wait a minute.
We didn't
Wait
hire
a
him.
minute. What is this?
We didn't hire him because good as
Did this
job.
work? Did that work? I wonder if that worked.
What?
There we go. I fixed it.
Kima, I request a soundbite of that
Yes,
for
me
whenever
too.
we have horses.
Yes.
I
I'd
have.
like to hear this.
Anonymous.
Dude,
yeah.
he would. You're right. He would fuck it up. That's like what he does.
Whoa!
Like that's
Whoa!
his. It's like his MO.
Wow.
His name should be I fuck shit up.
TM.
Yeah. Yeah. Who's this Meta Mike guy? I mean, he can barely like just walk through the apartment without slamming into shit.
Somebody's getting fired. Boop, 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 boop.
No,
No.
I'm adding custom things, alright?
Fired, evicted, whatever.
What? I made it say anonymous now. I win.
He's just going to get chained to a different table.
So,
Nuh-uh.
So, are
ready
we
to
ready
run
to
that
draw a
game?
He's
winner?
not coming to our
yeah,
side.
they're all winner.
Draw the winner!
Winner
Draw it real quick.
is-
Draw it.
Draw it.
Wow.
Apparently, we're allowing entries again. Now we're
No.
stopping again.
No, it's not.
Viva
Starting.
20
Woo!
The
Reaper!
The Reaper!
The Reaper. Congratulations, Kima. Nice. See those
Puppy!
emotes.
Look at the puppy.
Nice.
Good.
Oh, do some hype.
I will message her the code now.
You should be receiving the code now, Kima. Congratulations. Peruse those flavors and choose something righteous. Something delicious and righteous.
Righteous.
When you're working hard through the holidays, nothing keeps you going quite like a brick of fudge.
I mean, if it's coffee flavored, yeah.
Oh,
it's
he does have the coffee.
He does. With it has coffee grinds in it, doesn't it? Yeah.
Limit. You know, you're like, oh, do you have this? Oh, yeah, I have this, but in like 5 different variations.
Yeah. And you can add nuts to it if you like nuts. Like, you just, like, yeah.
Wait, like these nuts?
Sure.
Yeah,
like these
sure.
nuts.
I
These
mean,
ones. Just choose.
Are you a toddler?
Have you ever seen the episode of Ed, Ed, and Eddie with, like, the Jawbreaker vault?
Yeah.
Dude, that's how I picture, like, Jam's closet or whatever, you know, like his storage area. It's just, you got an elevator, it's like, yes, which flavor of fudge would I like to bring out for the patrons now?
Yeah, I know. Just got this ball.
Who should I feed the peasants with?
In there.
I heard y'all were talking. Shit.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I hope you heard it. You're right fucking there.
It's
and
a
he's
long
the one
distance.
Who's partially deaf.
It's a long distance.
I said it loud enough on purpose for you to hear. God, man.
Oh, thank you.
Ginger.
I
Get your own
appreciate it.
disability.
Trying to make a joke. You spoiled it.
Get your own disability.
No, it's ready.
Don't feel appropriate in my
I
disability.
wish we could do that for you, John Ferguson. I really do, man.
What's he say?
I really wish I could, like, do that for you.
Why do you think I gathered the party at the table?
If we try to eat fudge while we're streaming, we're just not going to get anything done.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
going to be too busy sharing flavors and eating.
Yeah.
Not
Well,
sharing.
Yeah.
No,
I
we're
feel
all
like
gonna get
wine
a different
tasting.
flavor, and we all gotta give a little piece to each other. Okay?
No, not
that
sharing.
Shamrock Shake is amazing. His
No.
cream, his cream soda one's pretty good. His orange cream.
Yeah,
That
that's,
one was
that's
the
my
one.
favorite. I love Shamrock Shakes, but man, orange cream like anything, and I'm all
I
about
think
it.
Ooh,
you're right.
yeah.
You're right. I don't know that peanut butter. The peanut butter one was.
We would
awesome.
all
The
eat
Reese's one was
fudge
like on point.
like wine tasters. We would all just be like,
I'm not spitting it out afterwards, though.
Yeah,
I'm not
this is-
spitting it.
this is-
Butterscotch.
A dark cocoa in this fudge.
Yes. This
If
is
I do say so myself, this is quite exquisite.
this year, do I taste autumn?
Interesting notes of fall. It reminds me of a warm, cozy fireplace with scotch.
I like the mental.
This has a nice spring flavor and seems to brighten up the day.
I like the mental image of us all sat around the table, like, Dylan, I'll trade you 2 espresso for 1 orange cream, man.
And I'm like, nah, this is a hard bargain, alright?
Oh, that'd be so great. We should play cards and have
No, we should
Fudge.
we should play Monopoly.
Monopoly
Cash.
with fudge.
Yes!
Fudge.
Apologize.
One person ends up with all
Kima,
the
but
fudge.
you won, Kima. I'm just letting you know. You won
Yeah,
your choice.
Kima.
You got the coupon. Congratulations. You do. You come back to fudge. That's like the best way. It's like going to the bathroom in a restaurant and coming back and your food's at the table. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
It's like time traveling. You just skip all that bull crap that's sitting there doing
Yeah, all
nothing.
the pleasantries and awkwardness, waiting for the distraction of food to interrupt your conversation.
And you know how
Fudge in free parking?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds like a great idea.
Right.
It just takes.
All right, so we gotta get back to the game now. Thank you everybody for participating. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. We love you all for just spending any kind of time with us, and we appreciate the follows and just all around. Everybody's amazing. Our community's great. We appreciate you spending time with us. And congratulations, Kimo, on winning the giveaway. You deserve it. You've earned it. You put up with us on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So if anybody outside of Prozac and Malachi deserve the fudge, it's you. For sure.
Prozac already got fudge. He's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
That's what
don't
I'm
worry
saying.
about him.
Did he eat the fudge?
It's probably out.
Yeah, he ate the fudge and he
probably
like
now.
shared it.
They
All right,
eat
have
the
a good night,
fudge?
Jam. Thanks
So
for
it was
hanging
awesome.
out. Thank you
Yeah,
for the coupon
And for the
giveaway.
support.
And for the support. Yep, you're awesome. Your fudge is awesome. Have an awesome night. Get some sleep. Talk to you later.
Nighty night, Mr. Fudge Man.
So,
Mr. Fudge Man.
you guys drink ale, eat a little bit, and then
Can me ask you all a very serious question?
What question is this?
Look, me isn't doubting it. But me wants to know, do you all think what we're doing is... It's like good? Do you think like every step we take is towards... I don't know, the ideal of good? Or the greater good? Which is good?
It's interesting, Solas. The one thing I could say is that I don't think every step has been for the greater good. I can't say that at all. Because if we were here for the greater good, I don't think we'd be here looking for Kacey. We would be out trying to stop something bigger and worse. But I think that when given the opportunity, we're all willing to do what is right and what is for the greater good. That's what makes us heroes. Is that we are the ones willing to stand up and say, no, this is wrong. And I think that is what matters most. Personally, I feel that it is not a life of heroism that makes you a hero, it's the moments that are needed the most. It's the moments when you stand up and do what is right, when it is needed the most, that makes you a hero. Heroes from stories and lore, they weren't heroes their whole lives. They just stood up and did something about it in that moment, and they were written about it for years. And then from then on, they did other heroic deeds. But that is what I believe.
Raise your
Oh,
hand if you
you
have
want
something to
something
contribute.
from me? Yep. Why are you all looking at me? I'm waiting for your meeting to finish.
He made a noise.
Well, I think sometimes you just got to reflect on the actions you've taken. They haven't been bad. It's always a good start. Well, then you got to look to the future. You just got to do whatever you think is best. That's all anybody can do. Little, small, it all adds up in the end, Solas. But if you're wondering what we're doing is good, yeah, I believe so.
My question is, what part do you think that we're not doing well? Is it Veracruz?
Well, again, me did not... Me started with saying me is not doubting that we're doing good. Me just wanted to clarify, you know? Is it like... Because that word gets thrown around a lot, you know? Like, you're gonna do good. But it's like, who's good? You know? Are we doing our good? You know? Like, by you saving Kacey, that's your good, right?
No. I think it's more than just my good or Kacey's good. I think it's a good act as a whole. I don't think it has to be a overarching good. I think you can do small things, and they're still good. Not everyone... I don't think everyone has to do great, good deeds all the time. I feel that a simple good thing is starting your day by tucking your bed in. It's little things that matter.
Are you asking if we're on some sort of predestined path to greatness or something like that? You just said you think we're doing good stuff, so I don't understand the question.
Like some sort of righteous railroad?
Maybe even a roller coaster.
Faith Fairy?
Well, something like that. You know, people like you and him, you're all about faith and beings of higher power having plans for you, and you've been gifted with special abilities and like a destiny or something.
No, well, tasks, responsibilities.
Oh, same difference, right? Pretty much. Task. Oh yeah, I pick you and I task you to do that. That's your destiny. Do it. Kind of thing.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, we're living our lives. It's not about being predestined for anything. It's about figuring out what you're going to do next. And sometimes it's not the best thing. Sometimes you pick what serves you. Kind of like you're a good thing. Yeah, I'm gonna do what's right for me.
Are you trying to contemplate like what the meaning of life is?
No, just the meaning of me life.
Maybe you do not have a meaning in life. Maybe your goals are your goals. Maybe the thing that you want to set out to do is what you need to do. You said that you want to save your family is your goal, yes? Then maybe you becoming strong enough and growing in strength as a cleric of Parathor is enough. Maybe you doing good things here and there and helping those who need it, helping your friends, helping the people along the streets. Maybe those actions are enough.
So touchy-feely.
You do not need to be a great man to do great things. Focus on what you want. Focus on saving your family. Just like I am focusing on saving my home. Stay focused and stay driven. To falter and trip is to fall and fumble. If you do, then you need to get up and keep going. To hesitate is to show weakness. I am not one for good deeds. My home is a terrible place. I've done terrible things, and that is fine. Because I know now I am with you doing less terrible things. So it's a start.
Or just throw yourself into it and see what comes out the other side. Sometimes that's the best way to figure shit out. Get down, strip away everything else, all this questioning and doubt. What do you have left? You know.
Look, me is stuck at a weird sort of crossroads. Me's been questioning me faith. You know, it's why me hasn't lit the lantern, if any of you noticed. You know, me assumes he did.
Your face has been a lot darker lately, so.
Is that a comment about my skin color?
Just a lantern.
Okay.
You're usually
Anyway.
very bright, but I've noticed that you've just been very gloomy lately.
Anyways, look, me's got a couple of options in front of me, you know? And everywhere me turns for advice is just something different. Nothing helps figure out this decision.
Well then, what are your choices, and why would you do anything else?
The choices are to stay here and keep doing what me is doing. You know? That's choice A. That's what led me to where me is. You know? But where me is was always led by the lantern.
Are you sure it was the lantern? Or were you seeing the light through the lantern and looking about what you wanted to see?
Me wouldn't be alive without the lantern. Me should be dead with me family in that accursed hole that fell through the fucking plains.
Then... So, you're worried that the lantern isn't showing you the way anymore?
It's not. It's not. It feels like Parathor has turned his back on me. The frickin' priest at the church says he didn't. You know, that he's not that kind of jealous God. But when me sits there in that fucking church and feels nothing.
But did you ever feel anything before? And what did it feel like?
Like hope. Like home. Like the warm sands beneath me feet and the hot sun beating on my back. Besides me brothers and my sisters.
Have you ever thought, Solas, that maybe he has stopped so you can become greater? Maybe his guidance he felt was great in the beginning and it gave you away, but now it is time for you to step away and then walk towards the darkness now.
Well, I guess the real question is, what do you want? You want permission to go running? Well, you're not going to be going home. What do you want? If you go back to those lands, maybe settle down somewhere else, is that really what you want?
He doesn't know. There's a ship. There's a ship that leaves in mere moments.
Well, let's walk through this. How does it make you feel? You go home, there's no home to go to, so you go to a nearby town and you settle down and you start living your life. You throw away the lantern. Your stupid lantern doesn't work. To hell with the lantern. The lantern doesn't define you. It may have gotten you out of a really shitty situation, but you're Solas. You're not some hunk of metal. And then every day for the rest of your life, you're going to sit there and think of all the things you didn't accomplish and all the ways you failed, and you're just going to have to live with yourself and accept that that's how you choose to live your life. Or you can stick it out, try and figure it out, down with the lantern. Maybe instead of the lantern's light, you gotta find some of your own grit. Not everything's gonna be done for you, not by a lantern, certainly not necessarily by the church.
You know, I would look at the symbolism of the lantern itself. They use lanterns to signal people far off. Lanterns are also used for decoration. They're also used for light, for guidance. The lantern's no longer shining for you. It's no longer guiding you. Parathor has you right where he wants you.
Well, if this is where he wants me, is it here at this table, or is it on that ship? He's brought me to a point where there is no...
What if it's your decision? Or what if that lantern is just a tool given to you by Parathor? Maybe all it was just what it is. It was a light. It was a guiding light for those that needed it. And now you do not need it. Maybe your decision is already made and you know it. It's just the idea of home is so alluring that it makes you question and think that maybe doing this, helping others, isn't worth it. Maybe going home, laying down your weapons, your spells, your books, everything is wonderful. Maybe staying at home, having a wife, kids, raising a child, naming him the name of a family member, a brother or a sister. Help raising him and watching as the last lights of your eyes fade away as you see your future in your child. Maybe that idea is what draws you home, rather than the perilous adventures of the cleric Solas, fighting for Parathor's light in the darkest reaches, getting stronger so he may charge headlong into darkness, letting his lantern be the light not for just him, but all of those lost in darkness. I don't think guidance would be acceptable in this situation. It is a decision you must make. It is your life, and your life alone, that this choice matters to. One is a family, and one is a light for others that need it. Will you live your life for yourself, or live it for others?
My life has never been for others. Me only follows Parathor because of the lantern. Before that, it was for me family, and it was for me home. But there is no family, there is no home. Me thought Parathor, his guidance, would fix it. But it's not, is it? And at this moment, he's gonna like bury his face in his cup. And you can hear the sniffles and the little plinks of of tears as they hit the ale.
Why, I get up. And I go put my hand on your shoulder, Solas. The trials that we face are hard to bear. But you gotta be strong to bear them. Sometimes when a flame gets low, when you're trying to start a fire, and you breathe into those embers, you blow on them too hard, they'll go out. If you go at a steady pace, you can reignite this fire.
And maybe Parathor will not let you feel at home, so do not forget that your real home is in shadows and lost. Maybe you need to still, and you need to recover it still. He's letting you know that this isn't home, that boat is not home, and neither is this. He's letting you know that your home is still where you left it, and it still needs the light of Parathor. Maybe that is why he did not give you the same warming and homing feeling that you have experienced in the past. Because it's a reminder of what is lost.
Oh my God, where's the dwarven pride? Come on, man. You're not gonna find it in that cup. I've never seen a dwarf sniffle into a cup like that. Get sick. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna go back up to my room.
So Hargraves kind of just stomps off, frustrated, possibly. You're not really sure. But he leaves, goes back to his room.
Here's my question to you, Solas. Do you want to go home? Well, we're not stopping you. I know there's always been thoughts about me wanting to go back home to Chulesh, but there's just so much out here that I want to take a look at and experience, so that's me. But I can definitely understand if you want to go home, especially hearing that you don't even know about your family and your home exactly. I just hope we just didn't make you feel uncomfortable throughout the adventures. I know we've gone through Veracruz, I know we've gone through Lefay, I know we've gone through a couple of things. And I've hoped that's been something you've been enjoying yourselves with us, but home is home. I don't mind. Like, Lucian left out of nowhere. I never got to see Luthok again. I know Riken, fortunately passed.
Fortunately passed.
Oh, did you hear that?
I'm trying to keep a positive spin, everybody.
Do you hear it?
Yeah, you hear that?
You hear that, Matt?
Oh, he's in here!
Luby's fucking glad Riken's gone.
No. Unfortunately, I was trying to make it sound like I'm pausing and being upset, but that did not go out
You were
correctly.
pausing?
Pausing. I get it now. It took me a second.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, he passed.
He gives you a sad face now.
I know.
Like true Matt face. You made Matt sad.
Matt, sad.
There are times that our adventure, as Thalen says, our adventure comes to an end, and we must return home.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you.
And we definitely understand if that's what you want to do, Sola. So thank you for waking us up at 3 a.m. with no warm milk. But we understand. Well, I understand. I think Hargraves is a little grumpy. He looks like he's gone through a very horrible day today.
Yes, he's going to go back up and enjoy his goop.
But right out there is, right, boss? Right, Thalen?
I agree.
We'll support whatever Solas does, right?
You, Solas, have been a friend to us all. A confidant in some of us, and to me, as I always say, I view all of you as family. I do. I spent weeks, long roads, disgusting rooms with all of you. And through this there is a bond, and I trust it. If you wish to leave and go be with other dwarves, I understand. I believe your place is here, guiding us with your lantern. But only you can make that decision.
I mean, I think it'd be a real waste. As I go over to Hargraves' seat and I take a seat and his drink, because he didn't finish it.
Sitting across from him.
Sitting across from you. I think it'd be a real waste of your talents. Honestly. What you've been given. What you've been blessed with. The ability to heal. These are miracles you perform. Not something you should just take lightly. Get on a boat and sail away. We're all put here for a reason. You're not here. I'm looking at you. The rest of the table. You're not fucking here. We're all put here for a reason. Some of us in other places.
Places that are not here.
Perhaps previously, Hargraves was put in a place where he was meant to be. To help people. Last night.
Shut up.
Destiny? I think not. What I'm trying to say is, we really do need you.
If it makes you feel better, I only have one experience with the Cat Lord. And he showed me the ship that took me on this adventure. I haven't heard from him since. He or she, we never know. I haven't seen him. No traces. No cat paws in my bedroom. No kitty fluff anywhere. Well, fluff. Animal fluff. But I still wait for the day where the Cat Lord walks in my life again. I know Parathor has always been with you. And lately, he's been a meanie and not haven't been around. But just like I know, the Cat Lord's out there. Parathor's out there. Just watching from afar. They like to do that. Well, that's what I've heard other clerics tell me on my adventures. He's out there, he just doesn't want to talk to me.
Do you wonder why? Someone get some ice water for that. Savage.
Solas lifts himself out of his cup and rubs his eyes. If me is being honest with meself, me would much rather go home and just keep me family's memory alive than anything else.
Family is important. I just like to keep mine in the thoughts of, oh, what's Lumi doing?
You think you'll have the strength necessary to rescue him?
Is there family to rescue?
You said they were still out there.
Me hopes.
Trapped.
A dwarf is supposed to never say that their family is dead until you see the body.
Then they're not dead. Be a dwarf and say they're not dead and go out and save them. I can't say much for dwarves. All I know is that family means everything, and I would go out and save them with everything I had. Even if it meant I had to become stronger to do it. But that's my belief. Either way. There's a long day ahead of us.
Yeah, we sure do. I got a lot of righteous work for us.
Oh, what do you mean righteous work?
How
What did you
righteous? From a level of Alfarius to Lumi.
I lean in close across the table
do? Is there
over to
both?
Solas. Some of the most
Table creaks with the weight of you leaning on it.
some of the most righteous. I got a couple leaves from Brittle
What do you
and Patty.
What do you mean?
Mostly Patty.
Leads?
For a moment, I thought you said leaves.
I did too.
I might have. What is it to you?
Yeah, he can barely read. Says
Yeah.
he didn't say leaves.
Words are hard.
Words are hard.
Nothing's hard to me. Words are easy.
What leads do you have for us?
Well,
Do you want to go over each one, or do you just want to say that you explained it all to them?
I explained it all to you guys. I explained even to the audience out there, wherever you are. About the fiend that totally possibly escaped the wizard's tower, or I know it's the tower, the circle, but from the tower.
Was it the fiend? Or was it the
devil?
A devil.
Yeah.
Are they different? Is
So
one
No,
demon?
they're both fiends. Demons and devils.
Category,
are both.
but-
The devil's just
It's the word they used.
yeah. It's
Okay, devil, straight up, devil. Yo, and then there's. And I tell everybody about the twig blight.
Twig lights.
Ooh, kind of undershadowed,
Under the
because of the
streets.
devil. You got the devil, a twig blight down in the
Little
sewers,
lights.
and then the vampires.
You have information on the vampires?
Yeah. Look at my notes and my
this
spelling.
is hard.
Cat-
No idea.
I was about to say, I was like, I didn't know Voss had that much interest in it, honestly.
I meant to say Thalen.
I know what you meant.
Damn it!
I know what you meant.
This is hard.
Accents are hard. Welcome to my world.
Yeah.
I have to switch between like 15 of them a night.
As I go over to Jeopardy, what is Catnip? The town of Catnip?
Canton.
Did you say catnip?
I was like,
Lumi's ears perk up. What?
what the note?
I heard that it's the most sacred
Catnip.
Canton.
items
C-A-N-N-T-O-N.
for all tabaxi. Okay.
Canton.
So
Catnip.
what you're saying? So what you're saying is that the vampires are in Canton?
Yeah, possibly. Feral vampires.
Oh yeah. So best bet is to still talk to the expert in town, which means I have to go get dressed, and then go to hopefully Canton or anything else.
You down there in
And
your
then there was-
skivvies?
I am in my nightwear.
Sorry, what are skivvies?
So yeah,
Underwear.
So your
Oh,
skivvies.
okay.
So your
I'm
skivvies.
sitting in skivvies. Yeah.
Thank
Nice.
Skivvy.
I had to.
That's a different image for me now. You're just chilling down there and just
Yeah,
half
don't-
naked, just
Don't spread
Yeah.
your legs too far,
Yeah,
please.
I have my leggings
when he
on.
gets down from his chair, he's at eye level with your groin.
That's fine. There's pants under there. There is no shirt on right now.
I'm
Wait,
not
there's a grind but no shirt?
that short.
Yeah, I'm wearing
You look
underpants.
at how
I'm not
tall
wearing
the
a shirt.
chair is.
I thought you said there's my
You're at a
grind,
table.
but I'm at least wearing a
Yeah.
shirt.
You gotta go down.
Yeah, when you got up there, you were like,
So, yeah, so she said that there was a rumor that they had summoned the devil and it had escaped.
Yep.
But she didn't have any further information. She said they're dealing with a serious twig blight problem in the sewers because they're blocking up the sewers and making it difficult for them to work in general. And then, yeah, there were reports of the feral vampires in Canton.
And that there was possibly 3 blood hunters
Yes,
in town for
3 blood hunters.
For the
He's
devil.
not there though.
yeah. No, you would love about that. I'll tell you in a bit when you rested. I'm smart enough to know that.
Damn rested.
You see, just by coming here, a little bit more guidance on my path.
Look, me would love to take this ship right now, but me word is me law, and me said me would help you get Kacey. After that, me plans to purchase a ship and get back to the Shamar.
How do you feel about vampires?
Like,
I'm sensing a little bit of not enough enthusiasm coming from you over here.
I don't think anyone should be enthused about vampires.
Yeah, I know, but I think you should be a
I
little bit
didn't
more
wake up
enthused.
this morning going, woo, vampires. I woke up this morning going, why the hell am I awake?
Oh my goodness. See, as I look over to Solas, see, this is the problem. Alright? See, between us, when we hear about vampires, there should be a woo. Because that means we found them. We rooted them out. That means we get to do what we do best. And we're going to put them down for good. Oh, now you want a woo.
No, question. You said they were rumors.
They're always rumors.
But that means we didn't find them.
They're closer. I got a town name. What do you got? You got
lot
a
of
friend.
things. A lot of things, actually.
I'm waiting for you to continue.
Those things are for later, though.
My things are for now. As I said, excited.
Do not get me wrong. Me already stated it once tonight, and me does not want to admit it once again. Ye are the devoted warrior of ye goddess. Me is just a man who got lucky. That some god decided to give him something to get out of a dark place.
I feel like a god giving you something is important.
Perhaps you gotta be willing to take that next step. Instead of just being that guy, being the servant. And from the servant, being his weapon.
With that, Balin picks up his hat, says, I can't say any more words better than that. I'm gonna go change.
You're down in your underwear and your hat?
Yes!
And his hat. Yes, the hat.
His hat is always just off screen.
Yes! My hat is, it's always off screen.
He's got a magical, coat rack that just follows him around everywhere.
Oh my goodness.
Can I add that to the list?
Guys.
Yeah.
Dimension coat rack.
Yeah, this coat rack just follows me around, so I can just go,
Just pocket dimension wardrobe.
yes, I want one.
Sure.
Yes.
Add it to your shit you would like to own
Yes!
list.
Of course. No problem.
No problem.
In time.
I have the power.
Thalen. You'll have it. I'll do all the things.
Yeah, so Thalen walks all the way up the stairs, his butt flap completely down.
That's disgusting.
Humans.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. It's just so bright. Even though it is 3 a.m, his pasty buttocks is shining as bright as what one of
No,
the
they're not allowed
lanterns
to
would
laugh.
be.
I have a question.
That's
Hopefully
why
ours-
I wear
Please, Thalen,
fur.
hear this, please.
No.
I want to do a courtesy.
No,
Walk
we
away.
get to do
Yeah.
jokes.
Oh, fine.
Yeah.
Hopefully Hargraves doesn't see it. That full moon.
He's a blood hunter from the Lycan Conclave, ladies and gentlemen. So he turns into a werewolf.
Y'all are terrible people. I love it.
So, anything else to contribute to the conversation?
Just
Nope.
gonna drink responsibly.
Nope.
Drink responsibly and slay
Yeah.
monsters.
Most does not.
I don't know if that means consuming less or a little bit more.
Relax.
So, you finish up your food, and after the few hours that you spend with Solas, Dalen, you come back down ready, or did you go back to bed?
No, I went and got dressed.
Okay, so you come back down eventually, everybody's there. You can choose to sleep through for like 8 hours, or you can choose to get up.
Did that totally interrupt my sleep
Yeah, it did.
altogether?
Yeah.
We had a very
Okay,
important
they,
conversation
have-
about Rim.
Like less than an hour?
No,
short rest.
Are you going for a short rest here? Just
Yeah,
say what you
well,
want.
no,
No,
but
yeah.
was it really that strenuous having a conversation?
It was strenuous waking up at 3 a.m. after just getting into bed at like 1.
Ooh.
Fair point.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit there. I'm tired.
Okay.
I went for 15 help.
Yep.
Whose fault is that?
Well,
I was going to award you a short rest, so you can either take the short rest or you can sleep through the day.
I'm gonna sleep through this.
wait,
Good
it's
to know.
3 a.m. right now?
Yeah.
It's now that you guys are done talking, it's a little bit closer to sunrise. The sun is like barely just peeking up and coming through the windows. The window up above, and you can see all the ship banners above you.
I asked before the first lights of dawn.
Yeah.
He took that how he wanted. Okay, don't
Yeah.
I
Don't look
should've
at me.
Shot you.
don't look at me.
Even in Dungeons and Dragons, my sleep schedule is just.
It's an honest
That's what you
representation.
get for going out and moonlighting.
Art
Just
imitates
saying,
life.
This is a legit representation of your life, and it's
Yeah,
great.
I won though. I won. I'm a winner.
Like, you tell that to the
You see
sleep
me,
fan.
a
Yeah.
winner.
You're a winner.
Enough about me. Carry on.
Hello. So, Hargraves isn't coming down, by the way.
No, he passed out.
He is completely and utterly comatose. I think he might have got into some mischief last night because I saw some light scarring on his back healing. So he will be out for the significant 7 hours from now.
I look at my scales. The bad habit. So I don't know what watch is.
Dude, it only exists.
Yeah. we
There's
should
Snomish watches, but they're expensive.
afford that.
Wait.
Not on an
You
honest,
probably could.
not on an honest paladin's pay.
Or is just King
Which
just
is
saying
0?
winner?
Donated. But yeah, we should push on. File Hargraves.
What do we have to do today?
Ooh, we gotta go see your not your friend, but this person, this contact,
Yes, I was just. It's
this
rather.
monster hunter.
Yes, it's just rather late, so I was.
It's rather early.
Early. It's late. It's early in the morning.
Solas pipes up. Anselm, the informant.
Handsome.
Anselm.
Anselm. Some guy that's a vampire expert that Kacey would have contacted.
A monster hunter.
We might want to wait. This is rather. Early. Is there anything else anyone wants to do?
What, this time in the morning?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, this time in the
Yeah.
morning, the city's basically up. Like, all the stores would be opening because it's first light to work. You know, the only thing that would probably be a little bit slower to get going right away would be Armorer's Row. But they should be light up the
It's a
forges and
hustling,
getting
bustling economy.
Yes. And some.
the ports running. Ships are already be loading and unloading this early in the morning.
I was pointing
She pointed
at
at
you.
you.
Okay. I guess if we're having a downtime moment, I would run to the church and check to see if it's a match. But that'd be it.
Yeah, it's not really a downtime moment. per
Okay, then
se.
never mind.
I'm gonna explore. Get to know the area.
Oh, wait. So
But if everybody's like up and going,
we're all up and at 'em at the moment.
yeah.
Yeah, everyone's up and going.
Everyone but Hargraves.
Yeah.
I'm
And
gonna sleep till like 9, 10
he'd be a crutch anyway, so it's fine.
Fair enough.
He is a monster expert.
He is. But we're talking to people right now.
No, no, listen.
You better,
No, you're just a monster
You
expert.
filthy animal.
You filth. I'm sorry, who brought slop in a bag back?
I'm not there. Who you talking to?
yeah.
The imaginary you? It's
Are
in
you-
my head.
Are you okay?
I'm sorry, what? Did
Yeah.
I talk out loud again?
Yeah.
I do that.
I hope you're all right, Phelan. Boss.
I'm fine. I
Whichever
may
one.
want to look at Voss. What?
Are you gonna have a conversation with yourself?
I did it. I got him on it. Are you gonna answer boss, Phelan?
Yes, please do so.
Ooh! It's the cackle of a banshee!
No pressure.
I'll look over at Lummy. You don't got his tongue, do you?
It's funny because she's a tabaxi.
Yes. What? You don't have my tongue. But no, Voss, are you sure you should be drinking as much as you are? I'm drinking just the right amount. I do not know what you're insinuating. I'm fine. This is like my third glass.
But your breath stinks.
That is not a nice thing to say to people in the morning.
Well, your breath smells like alcohol.
That helps with dealing with all of you.
Fair enough.
Now, boss, you should probably listen to Phelan. He's gonna turn a little bit over the top.
No, I'm not going to listen to the young half-elf on how to drink. Last time we were drinking, he could barely hold a drink. I'll have you know, I was drinking quite fine. It was just rather heavy. Heavy, was it? Or were you just weak-willed? I have no idea what you're insinuating. I'm done with this conversation.
Guys need to stop arguing.
So you guys are having. So you as you're watching them have this conversation about
Sure are.
drinking. Brittle and Patty come down finally, and she comes down and joins you at the table. You know, climbs up. Patty, real quick, just kind of climbs up, pops up on the chair. Brittle just standing behind her. So, how are we this morning?
Absolutely amazing.
Wonderful.
Better with that.
I'm sure Alfarius has informed you into the little tidbits of information that I received.
Yes, he has.
Alrighty then. So what's the plan? hold on. I'll tell you right now. The plan is I am going to head to the circle because I can get in. And I'm going to inquire as to this rumor about the devil having escaped.
Can you get me in with you?
No.
Can you get us?
No.
Not one of us.
Not one of you.
Would I not be allowed in? I don't know if I would. I'm a simple study.
There's no way that the circle would allow Zamirin inside their keep.
You make a valid point. Apologies.
The point is, divine magic is not seen as the same way. The clergy is untrusted by most wizard circles in direct contact, and I am the only one among us who really qualifies as any sort of sorcerer or wizard.
Well, maybe if they kept their little conjuring fucking hands to themselves, this wouldn't be such a little problem.
I'm not sure there really is a problem. That's what I'm saying. I'm going to inquire for us on our behalf and see what I can find out. You never know. It might have already been dealt with.
Well, maybe you'll run into those blood hunters.
Maybe. We'll see what they're doing here. Either way, I'm going to head out and head to the circle, see if I can't find some answers for us. I bid you all farewell. Have a wonderful day. And she just pops down, and her and Myrtle head out into the street. You can hear they open the doors, like the bustling of the streets and market and the carts and early morning horses.
Don't trip on your way out.
Now I look disappointed. I look back at the group, at the table. we were down here before her. We ate. We discussed. All right, and they still beat us out the door.
Get your shit together, team.
Fucking.
Well, so yes, the city's awake. So screw it. Let's go visit Anselm.
Let's go see what he knows.
It'll give Hargraves time to wake up. Boss, will you be joining us? Let me finish my drink. Yes, I will be joining you. Give me one moment. Perfect. We'll see you here shortly.
You guys seem to talk a lot to yourselves.
Fourth wall! Fourth wall!
Talking to myself. I'm talking to
No,
the boss.
No, you guys are talking to each other a lot.
I stand up.
Yes,
So are you gonna take your equipment with you?
Yes.
Okay. Just in case you can get by and go over there?
Yes.
Are you gonna wear your armor?
No.
Oh dear.
We're just going to go talk to somebody. He'll be all right. There's a bacon to the door.
That's what everybody says before they die.
Sure.
You really just want to get going, don't you, Albertus?
Patty's beating us.
Well, good.
Wait.
I want to be next to her.
Is this a race? What are we doing? Is this
race.
a race?
It's not a race. It's more like a contest.
When was
Oh,
there a
pride.
contest? Wait, is there a prize? What do you mean?
It doesn't need a...
Gold. Is there a gold prize?
Solas hops off his chair, okay, and he, with his dwarven strength, begins to, because Voss is the only one who's still sitting, push Voss's chair.
Voss leans back and lifts his leg. This is nice.
Boss, that's...
So you guys are going to head out then?
Yes. I'm going to try.
So you painfully watch as Boss finishes his drink as slow as possible, all the while smirking at you, because he knows you're ready to get out of this inn and head out.
That's good with soap.
He finally finishes it, sets down the cup, and you head out into the streets, the early morning streets of Rivergate.
What does it smell like?
It's
In the
still
early morning.
It's still, I mean, you're still pretty close to the port, so you still get a lot of the smell of the sea coming in, and it wafts over the smell of just decaying matter in the streets. Like, there's still trash outside. Your guys' horses are still there, by the way.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
sweet.
Yeah, and they look like they've been brushed and cleaned.
Ooh.
Is the boy there?
No, you don't see the boy there.
Okay.
But your horses look like they've been taken care of. Alex is trying to break everything. Don't mind that, folks. Good thing the battle cam's not on. But, yeah, so as you head into the streets... Where to? There? Anselm's?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, do we know where that is?
I have no idea.
Have you seen a monster hunter?
We're looking for Anselm the Handsome.
Supposed to be wicked smart about monsters.
Wicked smart.
I would like to
Wicked
take
smart.
a look around.
You see people, lots of people.
You see some really wicked smart people about.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of people, so it might just be as easy as asking somebody if they've heard of him.
There was some.
I go up to the closest person. Closest random stranger to me.
Just the closest
Oh,
random
here we go.
stranger.
A small child.
This is the.
Is this person alive?
This is my nightmare.
Oh God!
This is it. This is my nightmare, ladies and gentlemen. Terrible. This is how it always begins. Next thing you know, she's gonna be hiding in the bush, stealing a guard's helmet, and throwing it around,
And beating someone with a shield.
and beating somebody with a shield, and
Or
we're
our-
not gonna never understand why.
Or a random giant decides to grab an old lady and ask her for directions.
Right, yeah. So there's an old man, and he's pulling a cart, which looks like it's full of like maybe vegetables and stuff, like old vegetables, and he's probably taking it to market. By the way, so you come up to him, and
Good sir. I
He
need your
turns and-
assistance.
oh yes, what can I do for you?
I kind of like twiddle around like a gold in my fingers. Information, please.
What sort of information?
Anselm. Anselm.
Anselm?
Anselm.
You're looking at him like he would know.
Anselm or Anselm?
Anselm.
Anselm.
Anselm. I heard he's a monster hunter. Looking for him.
Okay.
As I kind of like flicker the coin.
Looking for him where he be.
Scrolling through the notes. Gotta get to that spot.
See the old man internally thinking. He must be thinking.
You can see the one gear turning.
Yeah. Sir, are you okay?
Yes. Oh, no. Yes. Sorry. It takes me a minute to remember, old age. I believe it sounds familiar. The scholar, correct?
I guess. Is he a scholar, gentleman?
As these tough adventurers step forward from the crowd to surround the man. Some might say.
These are my friends. We're trying to find him. In a good way.
Well, if I do remember correctly, his home is, or business, either way, whatever you'd like to call it, it's through the gate towards the upper district on, I believe, Costra Street.
Alright. And then I get another gold out. Is there anything we need to worry about in the upper district?
I would say not, since you're not going there.
You just said we're going to the upper district.
Towards.
Oh.
He just grabs the gold. Puts it in his pocket.
Fair enough. Information is valuable.
Yes, it is. Have a wonderful day. And he just continues pulling the cart behind him, heading up the hill.
2 gold is not even new.
Well, you gentlemen heard. Through the gates, not at the upper district. By the upper district.
Coster Street.
Yeah. So, about 15 minutes worth of walking in a few blocks and stopping and asking a couple of other individuals for directions. They head you to, they get you straight on the Costa Street. And you walk the street a minute or so, and then you see a sign that says Occult Studies Anselms. It's a nice, simple, like 2-story townhouse building with a balcony up top and shaded windows. The upper floor has, what would that be called? The blinds. And there's nothing else more outstanding than that.
My hands on my hips. Eye up and down. Seems legit.
Sounds awesome. Who's gonna
No.
knock on the door?
I will knock.
Okay, 3 not it.
Well, here, which one of you is saying this?
I will knock. As the Thalen.
Boss and Thalen. Who's speaking to us?
Yeah.
Like, who's speaking to us now?
Who's in control of the body?
We are Legion.
Oh my god, he's meaning.
Phelan will approach the door and
Okay.
knock.
Yeah, so a gentle knock, you rap on the door real quick, and eventually, after about maybe 20 seconds or so, the door opens. And you see a kind of tall human, bald, probably with his 60s. He has like a long spiraling beard that comes like all the way down past his chest, like towards his midsection. He has like these thick but very small glasses sitting atop like almost like a bulbous nose. It's very red. He's wearing this like black overcoat. It kind of buttons up the front. You can see like a crimped red shirt underneath. Looking past him, you can see his house like just through the door. You just see like a set of winding circular stairs that go up to a platform, and just it's a massive like half circle. The table, you can see like a skull with these on the simple stand, and it's just filled with like books and like jars, like substance jars. You can see like strange, you're not sure, like things floating in the jars, bugs, just the liquid, maybe plants. And he kind of looks you up and down. Might I help you?
Yes, I was looking for Anselm.
Oh, you found me.
Perfect.
How can I help you today?
Yes, we are a group of traveling adventurers, and I was actually looking for help with finding a friend of mine that may have visited you in the past. I don't know if she has or not, so I was curious if you would seen a woman. Her name was Kacey.
Kacey.
Hartford?
It's a common name. Kacey.
Hartford.
Hartford. Does she... Autumn-haired, extravagant dressing, outgoing, eccentric, carries a large lute with a fine sword.
Yes.
Never heard of her. And he closes the door. And we'll be back not next Friday.
We'll be back not next Friday.
Yep.
Oh,
I got to twist.
burn.
We won't! You left us on a bird?
Yeah, I
Fuck
did.
you, man!
I just got slammed.
Peace among worlds.
Thanks, Rick. Fucking-
We're gonna have to sit with that.
Oh, get the fucking chat, leave that fucking. I'm gonna burn some fucking.
That's what it's all about. That's why I DM. That's why you should DM. Remember, only you can annoy your players.
Only you can slam a door on your players and get away with it.
You can kill them. You can do whatever you want to them. You know what? And they're gonna deal with it because they sit here and they listen to shit you do.
He's so fucking lying to us.
I'm gonna, for the next 2 weeks, I'm just gonna mentally
make
pick.
insight checks.
I don't fucking.
Your character's dumb as rocks.
You
I
don't
will
make
I
a
will tell if he's lying then. But I'll do it right now. I'm gonna tell him
the
lying.
door?
Game's on pause. till
No.
Yeah.
after Thanksgiving.
Pause.
I
Pause.
will come back
Pause,
and say,
pause.
is he lying?
Through the door.
Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us here at Legendary Action for Dungeons & Dragons tonight. I had fun tonight. I hope all the rest of you did. We had some good stuff go on tonight. We had some, people getting into real character, talking about real stuff. Real D&D.
In the grit.
Real talk. Gritty.
Depression.
Hardcore.
One big
Not even. Yeah, feelings.
Feelings. Crying in the mud.
Feelings.
So, Matt, did you enjoy Phelan talking to Voss?
Listen, I expect Matt to use an accent now.
Yep.
I'm sorry, you got it now, Matt. You have a whole another 2 weeks to prepare and learn the accent, and he made it pretty easy.
It's very simple. It's not too hard.
It's a very.
It's very Russian. There you go.
It's very simple.
Yeah.
Soft-spoken Russian accent, kind of.
Exactly. You should feel very violated. I was inside Voss.
Yeah. You might want to change it.
All up inside him all session long, Matt.
Matt says he feels violated.
I know. I
Yeah,
just
yeah, you
commented
should.
on it.
I will.
Wow.
But we're so happy that you guys think. Thank you for the raid. Thank you for hanging out. Stella Luna, you're so awesome. Thank you for hanging out. Zambies, happy fucking birthday just one more time. We love you. We appreciate you. General One, thank you so much for dropping the fudge. Kima, I know you guys just dipped. We love you. Berserkers, thank you so much. Rocket Pepper, yeah, congratulations on winning the discount on the fudge. Pick a flavor. They're all amazing. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. You will be addicted, and you'll be very upset that you don't have more when you eat through it.
As a heads up, Malachi, we will not be streaming next Friday due to the holidays. I don't think we had any other plans to do any streaming on Legendary Action.
No, it's all going to be any work we do is going to be internal development of our projects.
Yeah.
Will you be streaming it all next week, Ron?
Yes. Yes, I shall be.
I know
Rowan Doyle.
Yep. I will be streaming basically Sunday and Monday, and then from then on, my life will be ruined. So we'll be unavailable for the next 6 days.
Oh,
I have like a freaking 72-hour work week next week.
Wow.
poor baby.
Oh wow.
I don't drive to work, so I can bitch.
Which means you, the viewers, have to hold him to streaming on Sunday and Monday.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm playing Call of Duty.
Yeah, you're gonna deal with Black
100%.
Friday.
Yeah, I do.
Oh my goodness, we don't.
I have to do
What do you
customer
guys want to do
service.
that day? Movie? You guys want to
Nah.
go shopping?
I have Black Friday off.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. After working
Oh
so
my
hard
God.
12 days straight.
You guys want to go eat?
Yeah, you just want to hang out, do something super fucking rad. Let's go do go-karts.
Oh, dude, fuck yeah.
That'd be so
I
good
have
for Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving,
for speed.
Black
Let's
Friday,
go.
and I'm taking an extra day on Monday.
Oh my
High five, that's awesome.
Take those days off.
Time off is shit.
It's all a good time. So,
Yeah.
yes, we will not be streaming this coming week. Taking that time off, and I think that's about it. I don't know. What day does Christmas fall on? We might not stream on Christmas either.
Christmas is on a Wednesday.
It's on Wednesday.
I ain't
so
doing shit
we'll
for Christmas.
unless
Christmas
everybody
is
decides that
tentative.
they're gone for like the week or something, then we'll
I mean-
tentatively plan on streaming.
I'm a slave
After
to
Christmas
my
that
co-
week.
I'm a
I
slave
mean,
to my
I
work.
can tell you now. If Christmas falls on that day, I have it off, so I'm in. If it doesn't, I'm still in.
Either way,
Christmas is on
tentatively
Wednesday.
we'll hold that space and say we plan on streaming the same week as Christmas, but we'll see how that shapes up for everybody's family plans and vacations, etc.
Malachi says
And
it
if
falls
you
on
can-
Wednesday.
Yeah, and if you can't survive your family without D&D, bring D&D to the family.
Yeah, make them
DM,
watch.
DM for them
Yeah, mm-hmm.
and
For
destroy
sure.
them.
Yeah,
Just
pro
so-
deck.
We're all sit around a campfire and watch us. Watch our reruns.
Yeah, don't forget.
Some hot cocoa.
Thank you so much for the follows, by the way. We really appreciate it. And welcome to the Hall of Legends. Make sure to keep up with us on our social medias if you feel like it. I mean, sometimes we say interesting stuff. No, not really. That's a lie. We're not interesting. In our Discord, we are, but not on our social medias.
Yeah.
All right, Twitter is cancer. I try to stay off of there now. It's terrible.
Twitter
I must
is
act
just
like a
eat.
socialized person here.
Twitter
But
is
over
just
here-
you can post your opinions, but then people just get like.
Yeah, because you're throwing your opinions out to the world.
Mm.
And so, even though you're not necessarily asking for their thoughts, you are.
Yeah, because it's a public square, so you might as well be
Yeah.
yelling it in the mall.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then everyone can take whatever you say and attach whatever motives they want and just tear it apart piece by piece because you only have X amount of characters, but they have those same amount of characters to pull one fraction of a sentence from something you said and just to rip it apart.
Sounds like you've been ripped apart.
Yeah,
Ripped apart.
been ripped apart.
That's why social media can be a good but bad place. I just go to find nice fan art.
It's good. You gotta connect with the right people.
Yeah.
Takes a little bit of work.
Maybe,
It's also the
maybe we
last
should go
bastion of
drinking
porn.
this Friday.
Yeah.
Little known
Yeah.
secret.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Big surprise for me, honestly. How uptight Twitter is, yeah, it just surprises me. But either way, that doesn't matter. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We are going to try to find somebody to raid if we can. So if you guys want to hang out, jump in the raid with us, and drop the Loomy Hearts and hype, fireballs. Let them know that we're there. That Legendary Action is fucking awesome. We have a great community, and you're all a part of it. So that means you're all fucking awesome too. So thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight.
Queen's on.
And like we always say, try to give them at least like 5
Queen
minutes,
Reaper.
hang out, let them know that you're there, and just give them a chance to know who it is. Normally we raid friends and family from our friends and family list most of the time,
Who's that? Oh.
if we can. But
Just a face.
yeah, so just drop in, say hi. If you like what they're doing, drop them a follow. It's always appreciated. Show that support in the community and spread it around because that's what we're all about here. Just do it, man. Just love everybody.
That's
Just do it.
what we're all
Button.
about.
Hit that follow button.
Hit that follow.
I'm gonna,
Put your left
I'm gonna
foot
raid.
in.
Costs nothing to give somebody a follow hug. Okay?
Follow hugs.
Yes, follow hugs. Yeah,
We
that's
got
a
a follow too.
Hey!
Follow?
Anonymous.
Look at it. It's right there.
Killer Mitch.
Mitch Connor.
Mitch Connor.
Name's Mitch. Killer Mitch.
I was I'm just gonna raid Jinxed Art. It's her 2-year stream anniversary.
All right, sounds good.
Oh,
Jinx
cool.
Art, worthwhile.
2
Jinx
years.
Art is great. Highly talented. Definitely recommend you drop in there, say hi, show that love and that support, and consider dropping a follow. But I think with that being said, we're gonna sound off for tonight, and happy Thanksgiving. See
Happy
you after that short break.
Yeah.
See you in
And,
December, the coolest month
Yeah,
in the
see you.
world.
Yeah, see you in December.
December.
And
Sagittarius.
I hope your week is as legendary as our night was. And have a wonderful night, everybody. Good night.
Bye. Sagittarius.